Hearthglen, finally. I could use some rest.
It looks like they're preparing for battle.
Prince Arthas, during the night, a vast army of undead warriors emerged and began attacking villages at random. Now it's heading this way.
Damn it. Jaina, I'll stay here to protect the village. Go as quickly as you can and tell Lord Uther what's happened.
But...
Go, Jaina. Every second counts. Wait. What did those crates contain?
Just a grain shipment from Andorhal. There's no need to worry, my lord. It's already been distributed amongst the villagers.
Oh no. The plague was never meant to simply kill my people. It was meant to turn them into the undead. Defend yourselves! For honor.
Hey, Brigwin. Hey, Kamek. Hey, Permius.
A sound plan. Of course. For honor.
Guess it's time to put my actions where my mouth is? How's that work? Money where my mouth is?
Plan.
Oh my god. Yes, I have been reforged into someone stupider, dumber, uglier, fatter. That's not true. I'm actually in better shape than I was back then. But definitely all those other things.
Yes, me lord.
Yes, I am secretly Warcraft 3. So yes, this is an extended defend the town mission. Which you can also win by sweeping the enemy. Which I'm going to try to do.
Ready to work.
This, trust me, does not look exactly like the original. Even a cursory glance will tell you that this does not look like the original. They have substantially redone the graphics. That, and that. I think I'll get one more. Doesn't need more farms. Let's get one more right now.
Yes, me lord.
Now we're going to kind of chill for a minute, because I want to be ready to go with this when we do get going.
Ready to work.
Let's do one, and then... So one of those. I will admit, part of the problem is when you're zoomed out like this, I can totally see why you'd say it's the same. It's when you get here that it's like, oh wow, they really changed that, didn't they?
Job's done.
Like, a lot of them here. Look at the priests. Where's the priest? Check this guy out.
Yes, my friend. I am your servant.
Pretty much a completely new setup and outfit. He doesn't even have the same type of cloak and cape that he used to.
Research complete.
And loaded.
Actually,
the undead forces have arrived.
the brickwork is good.
Hold your ground. We are the chosen of the light. We shall not fall.
So, you know. Don't need that. I already have that.
A sound plan.
Yes, me lord.
I've always called this the Kobayashi Maru myself, Kay.
I'm your shooter.
It's also because he was... I mean, this is just screwed from the beginning. No, spoke of. At least not that I'm aware of. He doesn't have a rectangular head. What the hell? -15 to gameplay. So, anyways, I said it was time to put my money where my mouth is, right? Except I don't literally have money. But, you know, whatever. The saying, right? You're probably wondering what I mean by that.
Righto.
I
All
come
right.
to cleanse this land.
Our town
I
is
stand
under
for the
siege.
light.
Ever heard of Mass Effect 3?
What is it?
Off I go then.
I'm sure at least a couple of you have.
Is there danger?
Yes, me lord. Job's done.
I come to cleanse this land.
All right.
Damn. Okay.
Off I go then.
It was worth checking.
Ready to work.
I mean, yeah, this is all about going after Arthas, I agree.
Stand for the light.
Research complete. Job's done.
I would say yes, absolutely. To be perfectly blunt, and I've talked about this before, Warcraft isn't really known for its excellent storytelling. No offense, but it's not. That's not really what they're sold on. But Warcraft does have a few moments of genuine brilliance in its storytelling, and frankly, this is one of them. The human/undead campaign of Warcraft 3.
Job's done.
Or, to be slightly more accurate, the story of Arthas Menethil.
Job's done.
This was a wonderfully and brilliantly constructed trap for a well-designed, interesting character that acted in a fairly logical and well-meaning way that wasn't really, you know, like there wasn't, most of the pitfalls of bad storytelling didn't happen here. There's a couple. It's not perfect writing. I don't want to oversell it. But they did a lot of things right here.
Job's done.
Yeah, all the little artwork there is completely new.
Shall be done.
I did earlier, Malachor. Here's the thing. In order to switch to Classic, I basically have to do a completely separate campaign. So I would have to start over from the first mission, which I actually did earlier to show it off, but I can't just toggle, is what I'm trying to say.
For work. Yes, me lord.
So,
I stand.
no, is the answer to your question, Malachor. I literally cannot do that. My sister, who is not a big Warcraft fan in general, when Warlords of Draenor was announced, she was super excited. Do you know why? Can anyone guess?
I'm here to help.
Yeah, the ground textures, they're actually not bad, but you can barely tell they're not bad because the scaling they're using.
Sound plan.
Upgrade complete.
In fact, honestly, I would say that's really good brickwork. Look at it. The catch is you have to look at it up close to really catch it.
Justice shall be
Anyways,
done.
how different would Warcraft be if he rejected Frostmourne? I can't even begin to speculate. There's so much that would be different from that one
Is
change.
there danger?
That's a sea change right there. Alright, I think we're in position. Let's start getting ready for the optional mission that's going to pop up in, I think, about 2 minutes here.
What? I'm here to help.
So, I swear to God I'm going to finish this sentence at some point, because I was thinking about this during the break.
Certainly.
Put my money where my mouth is. I have said for years that Mass Effect 3 does not ruin my plan, my enjoyment of Mass Effect 1 and 2, and I stood by that.
Justice shall be done.
I have been allowing BFA, basically, to ruin my enjoyment of Warcraft 3.
Honor.
Today, here, now. Now, granted, I am disappointed, and I'm not going to apologize for feeling disappointed, because I am disappointed. I was hoping for a proper remake of this game, and what I got was this.
Honor.
But
Certainly.
there's no reason I shouldn't be able to just sit down and actually enjoy Warcraft 3, because it's still Warcraft 3.
Spotted an undead caravan carrying a large load of plagued grain.
That caravan must be stopped before it reaches the outer villages.
Because it's still Warcraft 3, damn it. It's still an excellent game. Last I checked. Yeah, this could have been a mobile port. That would have been funny. Right?
What is it?
Hello? Oh, it's T.
Off I go then.
Our town is
Yes,
I'm here
under
to help.
siege.
The light is my strength.
I will admit, I used to have a wonderful... Correct, Chemic. I used to have a wonderful... Well, I used to call Azeroth my home. And I said that unironically and
Certainly.
unjokingly, unwhateveringly. It was the place I went to take solace and comfort, you know? It was the one place of solidarity in my otherwise tumultuous and unpleasant life.
Certainly. For honor.
That has been taken from me.
If we lose the shipment, the Master will have our hides.
That doesn't mean I can't enjoy this.
Of course.
Our town is under siege. Forces are under attack.
I just pray that the grain hasn't reached any more villages.
Job's done.
Of course. A sound plan. Of course.
There we go.
I'm here to help.
I can't wait for Legion Classic. I'm just kidding. I can play Legion right now and enjoy it just fine. So, you know, I don't need Legion Classic, really.
Certainly. Justice.
But yeah, it's still Warcraft 3. It's still a great game.
Of
Job's
course.
done.
At least, I hope it's a great game. I'm gonna laugh if I go through this and I end up deciding it's not a great game, but, you know, we'll get there. Let's get our secondary layers going.
What is it?
It made sense to start with one if they were gonna do the whole thing, Jordan, but considering they didn't do the whole thing, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
Righto.
Good.
Yes, me lord.
Justice shall be done. A sound plan.
Ogres have moved down from the hills. It appears they're looking for a fight.
Well, then let's kill him.
Job's done.
I used to play Warcraft tower defenses all the time. Frostmaul, anybody?
Job's done.
Because they're not sending any real assaults after me, Ventures. If you're paying attention, it's like 4 or 5 ghouls and 1 necromancer. And later on, it'll be a single siege weapon.
Danger?
Nothing worrisome, in short.
Job's done.
Of
Our
course.
town is under siege.
A sound plan.
See, look. Oh, no. Like, there's a slow escalation to what they send, but this is more than enough to keep them occupied while my army is nowhere near my base. So that's why I have towers right now. Besides, this game taught me the actual value of static defense emplacements. And I'm not actually kidding about that. So, you might think, well, isn't the point of a static defense to defend? No. This is true in real life, too. The point of a static defense is to give you advance warning of exactly where they're attacking, and delay the attack long enough so that your actual force can respond. Warcraft 3 actually taught me that, as far as tactics goes, because, I mean, I was pretty good at StarCraft, but StarCraft, I mean, it's StarCraft, you know? Warcraft 3 is probably the only time I really focused very hard on trying to be good at RTS games. I'm, of course, nowhere near as good at that anymore, because I mean, this is back
Our
in the
town
90s.
is under siege.
You get the idea.
I'm here to help.
Our forces are under
Damn.
attack.
It's not
A
done
sound
yet.
plan.
It's not done yet. It's Darth Tyron. No, run!
Righto. Yes, me lord.
The light is my strength.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade
Justice
complete.
shall be done.
Upgrade complete. What
See.
is upgrade complete? Off I go then.
Hang on.
The light is my
No,
strength.
upon a time. I'll just answer that question quickly.
I stand for
No.
the light.
But you see, the towers have done their job. They delayed the siege weapon long enough for me to get here and kill it with my actual
The light
defensive
is my
force.
strength. Of course.
Unfortunately, I've just won the mission. Like, I'm done now, basically.
For honor.
I stand by my sentence, Kemek. So it's going to pause when I alt-tab anyways, so let's see who that was. Yeah, meat wagons are surprisingly mean siege weapons. You wouldn't think so. That I'll give you, Kemek. Although even the space battles had some issues. It's just they were so much better than the land battles that I think we're all a lot more tolerant of them. Because the land battles were garbage. So, hang on a second. So I just got a large donation from someone for a game I've never heard of. It's called West of Loathing. Well, it looks playable and doable. So I'm gonna pencil that in. Unfortunately, Alex isn't here for me to thank him properly. So now I'm going to have to stab him horribly the next time I see him. Right in the shins, too. Just getting that weak spot, you know, right in there. Now, I could go and try and take out the enemy base. I mean, I got 15 minutes to burn.
Of course.
I actually agree upon a time. You'd think Star Wars would be custom built for strategy games, but here we are.
Of course. A sound plan.
I mean, it's on Steam, Codex, and it's on the Switch, apparently.
For honor. A sound plan.
I don't think I played that one, Pika.
Certainly.
In fact, I'm almost positive I haven't, because I can't even remember what that is off the top of my head. See? Yep.
I'm here to help.
Kessen 1. Kessen 1.
Certainly.
Okay, so...
A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. Feel my wrath.
Yeah, this is actually probably the only hold the line mission I don't like in all of Warcraft 3, because the timeline is so huge
For honor. Is there danger?
that it goes from being difficult into being boring, basically.
For honor.
My opinion, anyways.
Certainly.
Ah, it's a PS2 game. Gotcha. That would explain it. I never got big into the PS1 or PS2. Not on purpose, really. Just never happened. Didn't exactly have a lot of money at that point in my life because I was living in a ditch on the side of the road.
Certainly.
That's not actually a joke.
Of course.
Literally homeless when the PS2 came out.
A sound plan. For honor. Certainly.
Our forces are under attack.
That's an odd question. Why is anybody homeless? I mean, it's not like you walk up one day and think, I'm gonna stop living in a building.
A sound plan.
Yeah, the final Night Elf mission has a lot going on, though, Bryzer. Like, this is literally hold the line, one side mission, done. That's it.
Certainly.
This is more like...
Foul knave.
or the final mission is hold the first line, hold the second line, hold the third line. Regular advancing scripts, Archimod attack, etc., etc. Cutscenes in the middle of it, too.
Certainly.
Go back. I don't know, I should have just bought a house. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Of course.
Should have thought of that.
For honor.
See, there's no reason for me to take out this base. I'm just passing the time, basically. Practicing my micro a little bit.
The light is my strength.
Yeah, all I need is a small loan of $1 million, and I'll be able to buy a house.
A sound plan.
God, a small loan of $1 million would set me up for life. Except for the debt I'd be paying for. We good? Yep, we're good.
I stand for the light.
You're probably wondering why there's so many forces here. Well, there's defensive forces, and I also happen to be killing the forces that are supposed to be attacking my base, because this is where they come from. Which one is it, Shadow Machine? Because I can tell you based on the name, and I don't remember his name right now.
Of course.
I haven't seen him yet. Yeah, see, there's the attack force that's getting ready to attack my base over there.
Is there danger?
I mean, I got 11 minutes, Chemic. I think I got this. The second base I'm not going to get.
Certainly. A sound plan. Of course. On my way. Say the word. I stand for the light. A sound plan. For honor.
Yeah, I know, spoke off, but I could give you a joke answer, or I could say, no, I'm not answering that question. Which would you prefer?
Certainly. Our town is under siege.
Little overwhelmed here.
For honor.
Oh, no, hold back.
Is there danger? Here's my lead.
Damn it! It's the first loss I've taken this whole mission. Now I'm pissed.
Justice has come. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. The light is my strength.
Oh, I saw that question before I cut off, but obviously I'd cut off by the time I actually saw it.
A sound plan. Of course.
I mean, whether it's a good or a bad thing is something I'm not willing to answer, but it certainly makes a degree of sense. To be perfectly blunt, I would say that... Oh yeah, this mission sucks on hard. Most real-life governments try very hard to focus on single-pillar strategies, aka they want as many companies to be as centralized and as tall as possible, and that's where all the big tax breaks go. Now, let's be honest, the reason for that is because the fact that the people who pay the politicians money are the people who are super rich, who are in charge of those companies, and that's the reason why. No, Otherlord. If you own Warcraft 3, there's no reason to buy it again. If you do not own Warcraft 3, this is a perfectly acceptable way to procure Warcraft 3. Make of that what you will.
Our forces are under attack.
Well, as ever, Tesla, I don't decide that. You guys
shall
do.
be done. A sound plan.
Yeah, pick it up when it's on sale, because it will inevitably go on sale.
Strength.
I mean, it's not like they didn't do a good job of retexturing. That is a nice-looking barracks, you know? It's a nice-looking buildings here. Even the ground looks decent. The forest doesn't... Well, no, actually, forest looks alright, too. Never mind. Look at that. Some good pebblestones. I'm with it. I'm with it.
I come to cleanse
Is there
this
danger?
land.
Locked and loaded.
Of course.
Yes, my friend.
The light is my strength.
8
I'm here to
minutes. I could probably make this happen.
The light is my strength.
Oh god, I'm not sure which RTS mine was for Warcraft 3. 15th? 30th? I don't know.
Our town is under siege.
Justice.
Oh yeah, the second base has started attacking. That would be green.
For honor.
Yeah, we'll make one more stab at taking the base. I'm not really trying if it's not obvious. I have noticed that, Bryzer. It's probably because they split the difficulty into 3. I don't know if I'd call myself a Blizzard kid, but I was definitely a Blizzard teenager. But no, yeah, I have been a Blizzard fan since the beginning. Since Blackthorn and frickin' Rock and Roll Racers. I enjoyed those games. Didn't know they were by Blizzard. Didn't have any concept of that. But I did enjoy those games. I still own my copies of those. They're
Mortal Kombat!
in my closet right now.
Hello! Mortal Kombat! Let's get to fighting!
The humans, by the way, get 2 siege weapons. We'll see the second one later, but this is actually funny. Because,
Hello!
these guys have tremendous range. In fact, I think they have higher range than anything but the meat wagons, which have the highest range, by the way, go figure.
Of course.
Where do you want us?
And, no. So they have really high range, very damaging hits. Their attacks do 55 to 77 damage.
I'm here to help.
Which is a huge amount of siege damage. They can absolutely destroy buildings en masse. The catch is they are slow, they have no real armor, and they have very low hit points. They are effectively glass cannons, or typical artillery, which makes sense.
A sound plan.
Later on, you get tanks as the humans, which are exactly what you think they are. We'll talk about those when we get them, though. We're not there yet.
I'm here to help.
Alex! What the hell is West of Loathing?
Let's get to fighting!
Is there danger? I'm here to help.
Where do you
I
want us?
stand for the light. Of course.
Hello!
Is there danger? A sound plan.
Show us autonomy!
The light is my strength.
Our town is under siege!
That's gonna suck.
I'm here to help.
Undead. Easy answer upon a time. I always liked playing as Undead and Night Elves back in vanilla. I didn't like humans that much as soon as they nerfed my mage strategies. And I never really liked playing as orcs. I have no strategies for orcs, so that's gonna be fun when we get there.
Let's get to
I'm here
fighting!
to help. My father, the king.
Ah, there he is. Eraj the Summoner. Okay. So I don't, believe it or not, I actually don't have a lot of lore for Eraj the Summoner.
Let's get to fighting!
Justice shall be done. I'm here to help.
I do know that he is one of the earlier members of the Kirin Tor to turn, and one of the ones who decided to shift, and blah blah blah. He is in World of Warcraft, or more accurately, he's in Warcraft 3.
The light is my strength.
Actually, was he the Underhall one? He was the Underhall one. Never mind. I'm thinking of Ross. My bad. My bad.
I stand for the
Okay,
light.
I'm gonna stop being stupid for no reason.
Is there danger?
Where do you want us?
Yes, Mr. Red. Except no, at the same time.
Justice
I was
shall
just
be
screwing
done.
around, really. Here.
Of course.
So,
Our town
thank you,
is under siege.
Alex Korbianiki. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. Very much obliged as always, sir. And since you told me what the game is, I suppose I will go ahead and not stab your shins, even though I totally want to.
Certainly.
Of course.
Where do you want us?
Yeah, me too, Kamek. Isn't this the StarCraft 2 engine? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Eraj the Summoner, because someone mentioned that Kel'Thuzad is the first Lich. That's actually not true. However, he is the first big Lich. In fact, to my knowledge, he is the only big Lich. Although you could argue that what's-his-face, I can't actually think of his name, the guy in the final mission of the Night Elf campaign, who's also in the raid in WoW, is the other big Lich. But that's getting into nitty-gritty, and I don't really feel that to give you that. No, any other Lich can be raised up with the power of Lichhood. In fact, if you remember, was that Winterchill? I think you're right. If you remember, there's a thing in the manual which mentions how those who were with Ner'zhul got turned into the first group of Liches. So the Liches have been around pretty much since the Lich King has been around.
A sound plan.
But yeah, no, Kel'Thuzad, he's unique. There's a reason so much went into his crafting rather than simply, get up! But as far as, oh, we're out of gold. But as far as specific lore to most of them, I don't have much.
Justice shall be done. Of course.
And by much, I mean anything whatsoever.
Stand for the light. For honor. You are past redemption. A sound plan.
By the way, apparently the meat wagons have 1150 range in this. Which is interesting, because these also have 1150 range, so...
Is there danger?
Apparently I'm a lying sack of crap, so ignore me.
Certainly. Is my aid required? The light is my strength. Of course.
We are not cheating, so no. We could, but we're not.
Our town is
I'm
under
here to help.
siege.
For honor.
Hi, Wolfrix. That's true, I'm sorry, I don't mean to give lying sacks of crap about it.
Impossible. The numbers seem limitless.
Notice, by the way, that they go out of their way to ensure that we have basically as many resources as we need to finish the mission. In contrast to Warcraft 2, we ran out of gold, and we did run out of lumber up here. But we have a hell of a bank, and more than enough to do whatever we need to do here.
A sound plan.
Forces are under attack.
For honor.
We always have, Blackfile. We always will.
Light. Give me strength.
Oh, Lordaeron, for the king!
Uther, your timing couldn't have been better.
Don't celebrate yet, son. This battle's far from over.
No kidding, Tesla.
I'm surprised that you kept things together as long as you did, lad. If I hadn't arrived just then...
Look, I did the best I could, Uther. If I'd had a legion of knights riding at my back, I would have...
Now is not the time to be choking on pride. What we faced here was only the beginning. The undead ranks are bolstered every time one of our warriors falls in battle.
Yes, that's how that works.
Then we should strike at their leader. I'll go to Stratholme and kill Mal'Ganis myself if I have to.
Easy, lad. Brave as you are, you can't hope to defeat a man who commands the dead all by yourself.
Then feel free to tag along, Uther. I'm going. With or without you.
So... Uther here is, interesting. He basically automatically expects more of Arthas than he should. So what ends up happening is he is actually praising Arthas, if you're paying attention to that. I'm amazed you've held out as well as you did was actually supposed to be a compliment. However, Arthas, who is already in the middle of seeing his people being turned against him, who is already in an emotionally destabilized state, takes that as an insult. If I had a nation of people at my back, I would have been able to do better. Uther then immediately escalates. Whoa, whoa. This is not the time to be choking on pride. It's actually some really good interplay between the two. I like it. It's about to get a lot better this time. Because now we have one of the most critical moments. Well, actually, it's the mission after this. But the mission after this is one of the most critical moments in basically the entire Warcraft setting. I mean, not really. Like, you could say that Sargeras is bigger, or the creation of the Night Elves is bigger, but from a storytelling perspective, in my opinion, there's never been a better done, better written, more interesting and more engaging moment in Warcraft history than the Battle of Stratholme. But we're not there yet.
Greetings, young prince. We must talk.
I have no time for this.
Listen to me, boy. This land is lost. The shadow has already fallen, and nothing you do will deter it. If you truly wish to save your people, lead them across the sea, to the west.
Flee? My place is here, and my only course is to defend my people.
Then your choice is already made. Just remember, the harder you strive to slay your enemies, the faster you'll deliver your people right into their hands.
I'm sorry for concealing myself, Arthas. I just wanted to...
Don't say it.
I sense tremendous power about him, Arthas. Maybe he's right. Maybe he does know what will happen.
Nothing he can say will make me abandon my homeland, Jaina. I don't care if that madman has seen the future. Let's go.
Yeah, a lot of the sound effects have been altered. The Culling of Stratholme. Ah! Not now!
Glad you could make it, Uther.
Watch your tone with me, boy. You may be the prince, but I'm still your superior as a paladin.
As if I could forget. Listen, Uther. There's something about the plague you should know.
Oh wow, that's astonishingly different.
We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead. This entire city must be purged.
What? How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done. Those of you who have the will to save this land, follow me. The rest of you, get out of my sight.
You've just crossed a terrible threshold, Arthas.
By the way, canonically, we're actually right over there, on the side of the road.
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
The player characters from WoW, we're right there. I'm not actually joking. Wow! Okay, yeah, that's different. As it should be. So it goes up this way, and then it goes over here. Okay, it is a little different from the Stratholme, I know. First of all, thank you very, very much, Klaus. Very much appreciate the sub, despite my comment on the timing. Much obliged as always, thank you. And if you happen to know where you'd like to put that as far as increasing interest in a future stream, please let me know, and I'll jot it down. I can remember the number. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. 1111. That was it. Yes, time travel. We go back. Basically, the way this works out is actually fairly simple. We are here to prevent people from altering the timeline. So we end up basically trying to... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. We are attempting to ensure that people who are time patrolling or time traveling do not alter the time travel. So that's our overall goal here when we are here canonically. I do like the new Stratholme. It looks kind of like Stratholme. Not perfect, but they did a decent job of it. And it's completely different there. Over here, we've got some stuff happening, which we're not going to get into. Okay, so...
I'm here to help.
This is probably one of the more unique missions,
Justice shall be done.
At what point does Arthas doom himself? That's an interesting question. Someone in chat said, what's the alternative other than culling Stratholme? Well, you could let them all be turned into the undead and then kill them after they're undead. You see the point. This is one of the reasons I praise the hell out of this sequence of events so much. Because this is it. This is the Kobayashi Maru. There is no winning this scenario, and it is a scenario that has been very carefully crafted to have no winning. So, statistically speaking, whether or not Arthas decided to cull these people or not didn't really have a large impact on things. One way or another, his soul was going to get scarred. The only thing that really changed
Ready to work.
was the fact that Arthas was cut off from Uther and Jaina. The only alternative was the fact that they were going to stand there. Like, picture this, if you will. Really, process this, because this is bloody brilliant. So, I must kill these people in order to free them of the mercy from being turned into the undead. Oh no, that's horrible! Uther and Jaina leave. Or, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we'll hole up here with the few who are uninfected, and as the legions of the dead citizens come charging after us one by one, we'll kill them as they come. Oh God, this is so horrible. I can't believe we had to do this. Why didn't we just go in and try to fix them? Why, blah, blah, blah. Uther and Jaina are divided from Arthas. No matter what, no matter how this went, it was still going to divide, to bring down a wedge in between Arthas and those who are closest to him, which is necessary. Fiction and real life both will show that an individual will never be able to stand as much as they are if they have people supporting them. Like, there are so many examples. Let's stick with fiction for the moment, but there are so many examples in fiction when it comes to people who they probably wouldn't have gone evil, or they wouldn't have gone crazy, or they wouldn't have gone insane, or they wouldn't have had PTSD or whatever, if they had had someone who had helped them, who had been a legitimate and caring friend or ally or confidant or family member or loved one or whatever, in order to help support them. Arthas loses. So you asked her, when do I think Arthas was divided? I think it's the moment that Uther and Jaina left him. That is the moment that Arthas became unsalvable. Because from this moment onward, he is alone. You'll notice, by the way, that he actually doesn't turn immediately because he runs into Mirrodin. Pay attention to the sequence of events. I'll show these on screen, obviously. But Arthas gets very dark and very horrible in this sequence and the next couple of sequences until he reaches Mirrodin. And then his tone immediately changes and becomes far more brighter and lighter. But then he starts the descent again. Because Mirrodin just goes along with everything. rather than being a friend and confidant. But it does nevertheless delay his descent because of the fact that he has someone there. And you'll notice that the final act that really helps seal the deal and literally rips his soul out of him is damaging Mirrodin to the point where Arthas thought he was dead. Once again, separating Arthas from those around him. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Let's kill people. For their own good, obviously. I mean, this is to help them. Don't you know? Okay, so we don't actually have to worry about base defense too much here.
Off I go then.
Not really.
All right.
But we're going to worry about it a little bit.
Righto.
One, and then we'll do. We'll just leave that. By the way, we're not doing 100%. No, really, can't change my mind. I am not doing a Shadowlands per rear run. No. No, 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 no. That is not on the table whatsoever. However, if you want me to do an entirely new lore run of World of Warcraft, I'd say 23 million would probably do it. Something like that. Gotta think about how I want to allocate this. It looks like we can get attacked from the right this time.
Job's done.
We basically had one actual avenue of attack. What we got in here? We've only got a couple minutes before Mal'Ganis shows up, so we need to kind of get in here and get ready. It's fine, Cotillion. It's just... all I ask is that you basically...
Father, forgive me for what I must do.
That's new.
Job's done.
A sound plan.
All I ask is that you have a bit of a brain about when you ask. Like, if I'm in the middle of a spiel about something, don't be like, hey, what do you think about Star Trek? But if we got some downtime, and we absolutely will have downtime, because this is an RTS, we're going to have large sections of just waiting for resources and people to be built, then by all means.
I've been waiting for you, young prince.
God, your skin looks terrible.
I am Mal'Ganis. As you can see, your people are now mine. I will now turn this city household by household until the flame of life has been snuffed out forever.
I don't see why not
I
next
won't
time.
allow it, Mal'Ganis. Better that these people die by my hand than serve as your slaves in death.
Now, the funny thing is, Arthas is actually completely right there.
They're attacking. Run for your lives.
No, he is absolutely correct.
Job's done.
Of course.
But again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. What's the alternative here, exactly? I mean, I hate to be the person to ask that, but what is the alternative?
What is it?
I'll go ahead and just spoil it for you. There isn't one!
Off I go
You
then.
could lose.
Certainly.
Evacuate the city. Oh god, that is such a horrifyingly bad idea. Oh my god, dude. Wow. Oh. You could suicide and become undead, that's true.
Inventory is full.
Yeah, do try to remember, the city is already currently infected.
Job's done.
Like, there's no saving anyone in this entire city here. You have to understand that. Nobody is salvable as of this moment in time.
Certainly.
They are already screwed. Yeah, this is a nuke situation. That's kind of why we're purging it. That's why it's called the culling. What would Batman do? Oh, Batman saw this coming from a mile away, and blah, 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 blah.
Job's done.
By the way, this is technically a race. We have to cull 100 people before he culls 100 people. That's a great idea. Let's bring all the infected to Lordaeron. Ah! Everyone, we've brought the refugees. Oh my god, they're eating people! God, I'm just... wow, you know?
Our forces are under attack.
But yeah, so every time we kill someone, it counts for us. Every time he teleports someone, it counts for him. So in case you're missing it, what Mal'Ganis is doing is he's finding the infected.
Certainly.
And then teleporting them away to join the Scourge, to join the undead army. So those 8 under his number, that's people who have joined the Scourge. If I'm explaining myself properly at all here. What do I need? I need 4, looks like? Yeah. Anyways, Mal'Ganis, we'll talk more about him in a minute. Because there is actually a lot to talk about Mal'Ganis. So the plague is actually a magical plague. By which I mean it doesn't literally infect you in the sense that a disease or a virus would. That being said, if anybody's immune to it, well, statistically speaking, there are actually circumstances in which certain individuals either have protection or immunity to, you know, the undead scourge, the undead plague. They tend to be pretty rare exceptions, but they do happen.
Of course.
I suppose I should also add, I'm speaking incorrectly, please forgive me. There's actually multiple iterations of the undead plague over the years. This exact iteration is one of the more mild, low-tier ones. However, later on we will see far more powerful iterations, even in this game. And by the time Wrath comes around, they have iterated on it even more, to the point where it is absolutely terrifying.
Our forces are under attack!
Yeah, the final iteration of the plague, the one that is in Wrath, the Naru could not cure.
Live once more.
A lot of people couldn't cure, actually.
Of course.
So every time he resurrects, he's a little bit stronger, with a little bit more, whoops.
Of course.
Defensive unit on his side.
A sound plan.
Yeah, they're coming to attack.
Of course.
Go ahead.
I come to cleanse this land.
That doesn't look like a big force. We should be fine.
Certainly.
Naru or scrubs. I mean, the Dragon of Life couldn't cure it, too. Oh no, killing Mal'Ganis is a good idea if you can maintain the pace. That's the important part. What I really need is that. So I need to do that, and then I need to do... I can't do that again, can I? Nope. Do I have... I do not. Let's go and just slam that down real quick. This. Come on.
A sound plan.
It's Hideyori! No! Run! 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 Oh, no, we're okay, we're okay.
Of course.
I come to cleanse this land.
Yes, my friend.
That's enough for now. Let's get going. Let's go after Mal'Ganis.
A sound plan. Certainly.
Thank you very, very much, Hideyori. Very much obliged the sub, sir. Thank you. And if you happen to know where you want to put that one, please let me know, and I will go ahead and jot that down. So, Mal'Ganis is a Nathrazim, a.k.a. a Dreadlord.
A sound plan.
They are demons. Demons have their own set of rules, which, honestly, I'm not going to go into right now. But the long and the short of it is, they operate under slightly different rules than most other beings.
I come to cleanse.
I actually stand very firmly by the theory that I have that demons are literally fell elementals, but let's not get into that.
Of course.
Yeah, they also have this weird thing where anytime you reveal them, they immediately have to be like, you have revealed me and I am totally evil. And they have to do that every single time. I'm not actually sure why. It's a weird thing.
For honor.
I want to relax this a little bit. Hello, Forlorn Gas Mask 360101. What's up? Yeah, they're contractually obligated to immediately be like, you have caught me and I am totally evil. I'm not really kidding. It is an extremely common thing for them to literally be like, oh, you've totally figured me out. By the way, I'm also evil. I'm not making that up. That is a very common thing, and it's stupid, but I'm getting off topic.
Certainly.
Okay, let's go back to culling the poor innocent people. What? So.
Of course.
That's still upgrading.
A sound.
Mal'Ganis in particular is a actually a fairly high-ranking Dreadlord, high-ranking Nathrezim, who was personally assigned to watch over the Lich King, which is a creation of the Burning Legion, which is an organization of demons. I'm trying to skip over the specific lore because you just asked generic questions. Understand that Warcraft has a lot of depth to its lore. There's a reason why it's something I've covered so extensively over and over. So, Mal'Ganis is an interesting character because he's actually a very important character for the overall history of the lore. However, he was effectively forgotten after Wrath. He has appeared after Wrath, but he might as well not have for how little it has mattered. Grab that, grab that, grab that. I could see that actually happening very well. What do you mean, upon a time? What's the difference?
A sound plan.
Now, Mal'Ganis, like I said, his job is to be the jailer of the Lich King. So, the Lich King at this point is actually the first Lich King. There are 3. The first Lich King is effectively an individual who is bound within some armor and some ice. Bear with me. And is effectively a prisoner. Think of the Lich King like a gun. I know that's a weird analogy, but hear me out.
Feel my wrath.
Because he is being utilized as a tool by the Legion in order to prepare this world for it to be consumed by the Legion. He is no more and no less than any other tool that they use in their arsenal. And yes, the first Lich King was an orc.
For honor.
I gotta use past tense there. He hasn't been an orc in a long time.
Forces are under attack. Research complete.
Did I not? I didn't.
Yes, me lord. All right.
A sound plan.
Now, he's going to spawn in 17 seconds. I should have that. But yeah, the idea is for them to use the Lich King, purge the area, and then dispose of him. That was always the plan. This is specifically relevant to you, Alex, because you asked who Mal'Ganis is. Mal'Ganis is the one holding the gun. Mal'Ganis is the one who is specifically directing the Lich King, and is functionally the leader of the Scourge at this exact moment in history, as he is utilizing the Scourge to accomplish the ends of the Legion.
For honor.
You with me?
Sire?
Oh, jackass. Not you guys. Him.
A sound plan.
No, Ner'zhul was the leader of the Shadowmoon tribe, which was the tribe of shamans and farseers. Yeah, there's actually multiple Dreadlords who all had the task of dealing with the Lich King, but Mal'Ganis was the point man. Yeah, Mal'Ganis, Balnazar, and...
Job's done.
Oh god, I can't think of his name.
Command me.
Deatharok, thank you. Deatharok was the other
For
one.
the king.
For honor.
Why is Mal'Ganis so stupid? What do you mean? I mean, I still enjoy playing Warcraft 3 upon a time, so I don't really understand the question. Veramarthras, we'll get to him, because he will show up during this run. He will show up in Frozen Throne.
A sound plan.
And I haven't really talked about Tichondrius yet either, but we'll talk about him too, don't worry.
Of course.
Yes, Stream Whisperer. Although in lore it is substantially difficult to be a paladin. Which is funny because there's so damn many of them. It's one of the most common classes in Warcraft lore. But let's not get into that.
Go sniff somewhere else, pup. You best crawl back to your senile father and await the end of your reign.
So that's Salrum the Flesh Crafter. You may remember him as a boss in the Caverns of Time. Oh, you mean the Knight. Yes, the Knight is superior to the Footman in basically every way, except for cost and upkeep.
For honor.
Which are, pretty mean, obviously.
Certainly.
Actually, let's do it.
A sound plan.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. All of a sudden we're getting new stuff.
What have we done?
It's weird. I still have that theory, technically, Valkorian, even though it's actually been completely nuked. It's okay, though. It's okay, because the Chronicles books aren't actually codified canon, so we can completely ignore them. So yeah, no, it's totally cool on.
Build more farms.
Eh? Oh, whoops, right.
What? Off I go then.
Yeah, they have a castle now. Holy crap. That's probably the Scarlet Crusade castle.
For honor. Certainly.
Is there any lore for people that Arthas ordered to kill the civilians? Actually, yes, but only Malric and Farwin. Hey! It's Meat Hook. What's up? You're gonna have to help me out. Feel free to repeat questions, because I'm getting barraged with questions right now. Holy crap. Favorite Warcraft 3 race? To play as? For Undead. Easy answer. Followed shortly by Night Elves. There's some really good gear that's dropping that I don't need. Oh, that's good.
A sound plan.
You can through Twitch, Elizar, and through Patreon, but otherwise not that I'm aware of, no. I do, Papanik, since Arthas is one of the only Warcraft books I actually enjoyed. One of 3, actually. And each of those... Basically, the idea here is maybe we can cure it. Now, I mean, spoilers, but they can't cure it. They don't know that, but they can't cure it. Certainly not with what they've got right now. Probably not going to manage this. A few other seconds of life. That's all we needed.
I live once more.
The captains... Well, they weren't really super happy about doing this, as their eventual descent into darkness and insanity goes, but they went along with it because what else are they going to do? They were kind of in the same boat as Arthas. It's like, well, it's this or worse than this. Most evil elven race is obviously the Naga, although I still stand by my statement that that's actually bad writing. I have no idea how you donate in Twitch. You're going to have to ask someone else. Unfortunately, I don't actually know an answer to that question. What's worse, a Fel Bomb, a Void Bomb, or a Mana Bomb? I don't think we've ever had a Void Bomb, so I can't speak to that. However, yeah, Arthas is tremendously charismatic in lore, which is funny because he's probably the most popular Warcraft character ever, so... lol, basically. Honestly, yeah, I would say Fel Bomb is probably worse, since a Void Bomb doesn't exist. Thank goodness for that. Well, so far the Naga are still super evil, so... And we've finished BFA.
Upgrade complete.
So I hope that answers your question, Dream Whisperer. How many other questions have I skipped in the last few minutes?
Feel my wrath.
What left me wanting to be the Lich King? I am the Lich King. Oh, yeah! Well, no. I'll save it for later. So anyways, GG, as they say. Favorite Alliance race in WoW or in Warcraft 3? Since there's no Alliance in Warcraft 3. So you gotta clarify your question a little bit for me.
We're going to finish this right now, Mal'Ganis. Just you and me.
Brave words. Unfortunately for you, it won't end here. Your journey has just begun, young prince. Gather your forces and meet me in the Arctic land of Northrend. It is there that we shall settle the score between us. It is there that your true destiny will unfold.
I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth if I have to. Do you hear me? To the ends of the earth!
If it is, they didn't whisper a word of it, Dream Whisperer. Favorite Alliance waste in WoW? Draenei. Also, dwarves. Just in general, dwarves. We'll see, Fallout Bear. That's really what we're at with that. We'll see. I am not doing a Shadowlands premiere run, so that's not even on the list. When is the first time we see the Borg using transwarp? Season 7, or excuse me, Season 6 of TNG. Descent, Part 1 and 2. That's the first time we see the Borg use transwarp. I don't understand why everybody has a problem with the dwarves. Honestly. It's not about the accent, is it? I'm Yoke. Some, they have re-recorded voice acting, but it's really intermittent. They're trying very hard to make it sound like the same stuff. We have had new lines of dialogue, though. So here's a dungeon I've run many times.
So much death. I can't believe Arthas could have done this.
Jaina Proudmoore!
Lord Uther?
Ah, Jaina. I thought I might find you here. Where has he gone, girl? Where has Arthas taken the fleet?
He came to me before he left. I pleaded with him not to go. I told him it sounded like a trap.
Where?
Northrend. He's gone to Northrend to hunt Morganis.
Damn that boy. I've got to inform King Tyrannus. Don't be too hard on yourself, girl. You had nothing to do with this slaughter.
The dead in this land might lie still for the time being, but don't be fooled. Your young prince will find only death in the cold north.
You! Arthas is only doing what he believes is right.
Commendable as that may be, his passions will be his undoing. It falls to you now, young sorceress. You must lead your people west to the ancient lands of Kalimdor. Only there can you combat the shadow and save this world from the flame.
And no, these people aren't immune to the plague, by the way. These people become undead when we get to the undead campaign. But yeah, no, Uther, we've talked about this for years. I do like Uther a lot, but Uther is really responsible for a lot of what happens here. He carries a decent amount of the failure of Arthas on his shoulders. So if you already own Warcraft 3, don't bother, Necro. That's my answer. I would say Uther is the best paladin in the setting, though. Legit. I will give Uther one other thing, too. He tends to realize the fact that he screwed up pretty badly. Tyrion would be the other amazing paladin. Although, Tyrion's a lot more like Arthas. I mean, super spoilers, but Tyrion almost put on the helmet. And that's exactly where the cycle was going. Because Tyrion was following the exact same path Arthas had. It was a lot more low-key, but he was just going to become the third Lich King, and that was going to be the end game right there. Thankfully, Bolvar gave us a back door out of that one.
This is a light-forsaken land, isn't it? You can barely even see the sun. This howling wind cuts to the bone, and you're not even shaking.
Your dedication will be
Are you all right?
Hang on.
Captain, are all my forces accounted for?
Nearly. There are only a few ships that...
Very well. Our first priority is to set up a base camp with proper defenses. There's no telling what's waiting for us out there in the shadows.
That's what they tell me, XM. Thank you very much, Eliza Kozik. Go Sweden. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you can put that towards increasing interest or priority into a future stream if you'd like to.
Of course you follow me. They all do.
So if there's something you're interested in, please let me know. Please stop donating $1 at a time, though. Thank you again. Very much obliged, sir. What if Tyrion had put on the helmet? Would he be able to hold back the scourge as Bolvar did? No! No, 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 no. No, you don't understand. Arthas became the second Lich King because of the fact that he did not have the will to sufficiently resist the what I refer to as the essence of the Lich King. He had already become a villainous character by the time he put on the helmet. And so had Tyrion. And that's my point. Tyrion was already going down the dark path, and had already been on the dark path, by the time that he had the choice to put on the helmet. That's the whole point of that scene. That's why he's like, it must be my burden to bear. I will put on the helmet. And he was going to turn into the next Lich King, in a bad way. Like I said, that was going to be game right there. Like, again, I don't want to go over all the specific details, but if you remember my section of covering Icecrown during the WoW lore run, I talk extensively about how Tyrion was descending throughout that entire series of quest arcs. Just getting worse and worse and worse, until by the time we get to the final fight itself, and Tyrion is effectively an avatar of vengeance. Just like Arthas. Anyways,
justice shall be done.
Let's go fight some ice trolls.
Certainly.
Frickin' Drakari. Does anybody like the Drakari? Anyways, yes, there are some very obvious and deliberate parallels between Arthas and Anakin.
For honor.
Oh yeah. So here's Marwyn, by the way, in contrast to Falric earlier.
Certainly.
So I assume you're referring to the thanks ticker? You're correct. I was actually going to set that up during the
of course.
Intermission, and then I was busy doing
For
other
honor.
things. So I have to set it up separate for each screen I'm on, if that makes any sense. Yeah, considering that's a custom script, by the way. It's not a part of the game. Every mission that has those animals has to have something set up to make them go boom. So...
Of course.
If you mean the donation pop-up, well, then that's a screw-up, and I'm not sure why that wouldn't be showing up. It's right here. By all accounts, it is on, so I don't know.
Of course.
I totally didn't explode that seal. What are you talking about? No. I would never detonate a seal.
For honor.
I sure hope there's no dwarves from the expedition up here. That would be terrible.
Of course. For honor. Ice trolls.
Drakari. Nobody likes Drakari. That's not true. Drakari are awesome. I take it back. Drakari are awesome. Although Faraki are my personal favorites. You donated a total of $2, Eliza.
Justice has come.
And again, if you want to put those towards something, please let me know.
A sound plan.
Well, I just rebooted the donation thing. Yes, Faraki are the desert trolls. Hey, look, it's Nerubians. It's okay, they don't bother me. They're awesome. I mean, you guys know my love affair with trolls in general, so... We got the Drakari, we've got the Faraki, we've got the Amani, Zandalari, the other Zandalari. kidding, Crazy Norse. You think Arthas was bad? No, 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 no. The Drakari went completely nuts. What was that?
A sound plan. For honor. Of course. Certainly. For honor.
Strong. Who's stronger? I don't know how to compare those two. Thessarian is that guy right there.
A gold mine. We'll set up our base there. We're under attack. Take cover.
Bloody hell. You're not undead. You're all alive.
Muradin? Muradin Bronzebeard, is that you?
Damn, boy. I never imagined that you'd be the one to come to our rescue.
Rescue? Muradin, I didn't even know you were here.
Oh, well, just the same, lad. I could use your help. My mates and I were attacked and we got separated. I'd appreciate any backup you could give me.
Of course I'll help Muradin. Let's move.
And thus Arthas died. The end.
A sound plan.
You have a target?
For honor.
Forward.
So yes, Arthas now has a friend. And again, you'll notice how his tone and demeanor immediately change. Like, you caught that, right? Like, immediate shift from, I will kill everything in my... Whoa! Muradin? I didn't even know you were there. Yeah, you can literally tell from the voice acting how much of an immediate shift that is for him. Where's my... I don't have one, of course. Of course I don't. Why would I? He does currently have a soul. He will, in fact, have a soul right up until he picks up the sword. That is the exact moment he loses his soul. The Scourge would... Excuse me. The Zerg would crush the Scourge like a bug. I mean, I know people are like, aha, Zerg are so weak and blah, blah, blah. But no, the Zerg swarm is absolutely nightmarishly galaxy-level threat. The swarm would absolutely sweep Azeroth. I'm sorry. Best leader? Civilian or military?
Ready to work.
A sound plan.
Or individual, like squad-based. And yes, the swarm have... Oh, I can't do it. Sorry, my throat's kind of hurting. Hang on.
Essence. Yeah, there we go. The swarm have essence.
Our forces are under attack.
Forces are under attack.
Now that being said, the Lich King is an individual who can cast and move and do things. The Overmind is not. So in a one-on-one fight, the Overmind would sit there powerlessly and the Lich King would kill him.
Certainly.
So...
What is it?
You are past redemption.
Actually, there is J.R.R. Tolkien. The reason Kil'jaeden didn't help during the invasion is demon politics. I'm not joking.
More work?
It is literally because of demon politics. Let's go do this.
Yes, me lord.
I need to find those. I need this. Now, that's the interesting question. Could the Lich King bring back the Overmind as an undead? I mean, I'd say he could, but I'm incredibly biased on that question. As far as who would win the Lich King versus Kerrigan, that's an interesting question. Again, unfortunately, we have to ask at which point in time Kerrigan is, and at which point in time which Lich King we're talking about. Because neither of them are individuals with, you know, static existences. That being said, by all accounts, an undead Overmind could probably control the swarm. So if you ever want a nightmare scenario, the Lich King raising and controlling the Overmind, and that's the end of the galaxy. Enjoy. That's the... When you kill yourself so thoroughly they don't find your body, because otherwise you're going to keep suffering. That's the level of bad that would be at.
Job's done.
A single flood spore. I don't know Halo that well. So if Niadra's ship crashed here,
Yes, me lord.
I mean, yeah, we'd be fine for a few seconds, you know?
Yes, me lord.
Yeah, that's feed yourself to pigs. Actually, I don't like to distinguish the two, Eliza. I prefer both, basically. I prefer Farscape and Star Trek and Star Wars and Warcraft, all of which are both, as I said.
Job's done.
Yeah, jump into the volcano. So, military leader, Gum Gum. I can't cheat and say the player character, can I?
Job's done.
Certainly.
Oh, the Borg would absolutely destroy the Scourge. Assimilate, win.
Of course.
Thrawn, last I checked, is not in Warcraft, so I don't think he counts.
Job's done. Job's done.
Just reminding myself of my
Okay to go. How you doing? Okay to go. What's the flight plan?
Oops, I dropped something.
Stay on target. I'd rather be flying.
Job's done.
You can be my wingman anytime. Pilot to Bombardier. Bombardier, here, go ahead,
done.
pilot. I will now demonstrate the Doppler effect. There's something on the wing. I'm on a different plane of existence. Get it? Plane. Oh, it's you.
And yes, it's a gnome, as it should have been from the beginning, so that makes sense. What was I doing? I was doing stuff before I started playing pissed sounds. Yes, let's get that going.
Off I go then. What?
Why not? I didn't.
Yes, me lord. All right.
Nope, it was a dwarf in Warcraft 3, because gnomes weren't in Warcraft 3. It was a noticeable flaw of Warcraft 3 that they had to write an entire story in WoW to explain why gnomes were not in Warcraft 3.
Plan.
I'm not joking. The entirety of the Gnomeregan storyline came about because they were not in
Certainly.
Warcraft 3. Favorite element? Ooh, I think I'll have to go with spatial, if I had to pick one. Oh no, it's totally canon. It's just there's gnomes here now. Gnomes were, in fact, in Warcraft 2. The submarine unit. And also the flying machine. Oh, the Orcs win everything, Papanix. You know better than us, that. Oh, I don't have a... God dang it.
What is it? Job's done.
No wonder I'm doing so crap. Let's do this.
Yes, me lord.
Good night, Loner. Have a good one. By the way, if I haven't answered anyone's question, it's not on purpose. I'm just falling behind, that's all.
Certainly.
I'm trying to take my time here because after I do the second push, I just want to keep going. So we're gonna get ready. Take our time, you know. Be cool, be cool. If the Lich King took over the Emperor of Man... well... Before or after Endless War happens. Oh wait, that's just a Tuesday. Thank you very much, Upon a Time. Appreciate it as always, sir. Thank you. And you know the question. Favorite government system structure in fiction? Confederacy. It's fascinating to think about. Lots of possibilities there, story-wise. Do I want to do that? Not yet, not yet. Well, I guess I could get started.
Job's done.
Well, I'm not a big tea fan, so I don't think I would be into drinking tea.
Yes, me lord.
It's just not my thing.
Research complete.
All right.
A sound plan.
Well, the funny thing, Blue Wolf Alex, is it all depends on how we interpret things. So, it's kind of a, well...
Certainly.
Do I like StarCraft, Star Wars, or Star Trek more? Yes.
A sound plan. For honor.
Research complete.
Yeah, don't make me choose. I'll flip a coin if that makes you feel better. I'll just say whatever the coin says. Hang on.
Job's done.
That would be... StarCraft. There you go. There's your answer. You want to ask me again? Hang on a second. So this one's gonna be... Star Wars. There you go. Yeah, roll a D3. Or a D6, if you prefer. Did I get the guy? Yep, I did. Okay. We're ready to move. Never underestimate the coin runner.
More work. Righto.
I sure hope so, Lungeski. Oh, you mean in a bad way? I have no idea. Oop. What do I think of Star Wars 9? I think that as long, and this is not a spoiler, I think as long as you consider Star Wars 9 to be a movie that has nothing to do with anything else, if you literally take it as a completely separate entity over there by itself, it works a lot better than as part of a connected continuity. That's what I think of Star Wars Episode 9.
Job's done.
Did I not? Oh, god dang it. I didn't start construction yet. I'm just sitting here waiting for something to finish that I haven't even started making. I'll put it right.
All right.
The Warcraft movie was half great and half eh. In my opinion. I know it's oft repeated, but I was not impressed with the humans, and I was very impressed with the orcs. Excuse me. I don't do that kind of a rating system, I'm afraid.
Certainly.
So I cannot answer you.
A sound plan.
There are also several good moments and several very bad moments. Also, I suppose I shouldn't actually give you an answer, because, frankly, I've already had people who have... been toxic. I hate to use that word, but it applies so wonderfully. I've already had toxic comments on my own existing Episode 9 video, to the point where I'm actually going ahead and thinking about removing that video from YouTube, or at least just turning off comments entirely, one of the two.
Of course. A sound plan.
Let's do this.
For honor. A sound plan. Certainly.
Upgrade complete.
For honor.
Oh yeah. I forgot he was even there. I actually do have an air fleet right now. Whoops.
Of course.
I mean, if you guys want me to just start ignoring YouTube comments, I could just turn them off across the board. But believe it or not, I don't think that's really a good move.
A sound plan.
Call me a weirdo.
Of course.
No. God, I need more freaking lumber.
More lumber is required.
For honor.
Would I play Gwent with Geralt? Of course. I'd lose, but it'd be fun.
Of course.
You got it. 1 sub from Upon a Time. I mean, Tesla. I mean... Is that on the list? Favorite Warcraft 3 unit? I actually can't do that, Lycon, I'm afraid. I don't know if I could pick one. But the one that comes to mind immediately is the Lich. Even though it's actually not a great unit in gameplay, it's just so cool.
Certainly.
Research
In terms of gameplay, it would actually probably be the Crypt Fiend, which I love using, and you'll see me use a lot when we get to the Undead campaign.
Of course.
Favorite hero unit in Warcraft 3? Well, I mean, I did just say the Lich is my favorite unit, period.
And they're still under attack from the undead.
Yes, I'll have to go with that.
Let's move, men. Those dwarves need help.
And yes, Frozen Throne is included with this. Frankly, yes, Malachor. But only because they haven't done anything interesting with her. It's not like they couldn't. It's not like there isn't stuff they could do with the character. They just haven't.
Forces are under attack.
Thrall or Arthas before the Lich King? Thrall at which point in time? Because Thrall at this point in time is merely a very powerful shaman.
Of course.
Research complete.
Oh yeah, the Gul'dan versus Durotan fight is awesome in the Warcraft movie. Like I said, the orc stuff was good across the board. They even made Gul'dan interesting, which, I mean, granted, Warlords and Legion did that too, but I stand by my point. What, like Internecine, Gum? Yeah. So, this Arthas versus this Thrall, Thrall would still win. I'm sorry, Thrall is a very powerful shaman.
Of course.
Arthas is a gifted knight.
For honor.
Oh my god, you're right, Malachor! What? I've spent so much time talking and answering questions, I keep forgetting that I'm reviewing this game. Whoops! I'm gonna give it to both. Because screw all y'all. It's an excellent mission. Well, that depends on the ship, Gum. Good night, Myron. Para exemple, a light, patrol ship doesn't need the same command staff that an attack carrier does. Crazy Norse isn't joking. I am kind of autopiloting the game, which actually makes me happy, as weird as that may sound. Because I haven't played this game since the last time I played it on stream, which was like 6 frickin' years ago at this point. Okay, so this should be above this, this should be above this. Yeah, I've admittedly shifted my mind over into lore run mode without really meaning to. Why do you keep saying 1 sub for Gwent? I don't understand that statement. I admittedly am very stupid, but I don't understand that statement. And since I don't need to posit the possibility of whether or not the culling of Stratholme is a good scene, there you go. It is a good scene.
That has to be where Mal'Ganis is hiding. I want that base leveled.
But I don't. What do you? What's sub to what? Huh?
What's the flight plan?
Oh well. I don't know how that works. However, there is something called Thronebreakers, which I believe is a Gwent game. I think. Anyone want to confirm, deny on that? I can put it towards Thronebreaker.
You made the right choice. It's on.
Okay, so I'll put it towards Thronebreaker. There you go. You got it. That I can do. And of course, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Wait, Thronebreaker's on the Switch now? Wow. I am so far behind everything.
Research complete. More lumber is required.
Ah, the bane of my existence, lumber.
More lumber is required.
More lumber. More lumber. My kingdom for more lumber. You know what, here. Go get some more lumber.
Where do you want us?
I don't remember a card game being in New Vegas, so I'll go ahead and just say no. I don't think I have.
More lumber is required.
Oh my god.
Of course.
Show us a target.
When will this go onto YouTube? As soon as I'm done. That's how things go nowadays, if you pay attention. Which I don't blame you if you don't, because you secretly hate me. Why do you hate me, Aspros? But if you've been paying attention, all of the premiere runs and classic runs and basically the streams have been going live on YouTube the day they're finished. That requires a new setup, a new process, but I've been doing it pretty consistently.
We'll do it in a jiffy.
Would I consider Light Yagami different from... Okay, so personally, no. However, I've only seen the anime with the English dubbing. So that may or may not change any of the specifics of the nuance. But the version I saw, he was always a messed up kid. Like, from day one. You know, the whole power enables thing. Well on display there, in my opinion.
Let's get to fighting.
Yeah, Black Mesa is already on YouTube. To give you an idea.
Where do you want us? Let's get to fighting.
A sound plan.
The funny thing is, he totally could have beaten Mal'Ganis' forces conventionally. I had to adjust my statement there in mid swing because I remembered that actually he can't beat Mal'Ganis conventionally. He can't beat any demon conventionally. If you know how to beat a demon, you can totally beat them. They're not invincible.
Of course.
Now, see, it's interesting you say that, Blue Wolf Alex, because I don't actually agree. I don't think he was good when they took away his memories. I think he was wanting to effect change to help. I think that's also why he manipulated himself into that sequence of events, basically. As part of his maneuver around.
Let's get to fighting.
Finish this off. No, I have not, Eliza Kozik. I haven't seen the new show, sadly. Haven't had time.
A sound plan. For honor.
That's game right there. We have now won.
Of course.
Where do you want us?
Well, thanks, Tesla. I actually did lose some subscribers on YouTube for the YouTube spamming. But I'm going to stop doing it.
Our forces are under attack.
How much would it cost to get a Twitcher TV show low run? $23 million, because I'd basically be killing my show by showing copyrighted material on camera and get my channel nuked to hell, so I would need enough money to live for the rest of my life comfortably in order to do that. Give or take.
Show us a target.
Let's get to fighting.
We're on normal, Zyandroid. God, everyone asks the difficulty question every time I'm not playing on hard. That's the only time people ask what difficulty I'm on. And you're doing it on purpose now.
Feel my wrath.
I agree, Linkensky. Shrug.
All right, Muradin. What were you doing up here anyway?
Well, lad, there's an ancient waygate that lies somewhere in this glacial wasteland. Supposedly, it transports you to a hidden vault where a rune blade named Frostmourne is held. We came here to recover Frostmourne, but the closer we came to finding the waygate, the more undead we encountered.
Prince Arthas, we haven't found any trace of Mal'Ganis.
No matter. He can't hide from me forever. Captain, I want you to establish this site as our primary base.
Yes, my lord.
Whispers of a nameless fear, Malachor. No negative for that. No, Evil Knight. Sorry. It's fine, Alex. It's fine. There's this horrible evil blade, and it'll give us candy and goodness. What would I do with Geralt of Rivia? First, I give him a high five. Then I'd probably offer him like a meal and a drink, just you know, on the house, and then just chat with him for a while.
I apologize, emissary, but the prince is away on an errand. What brings you to this desolate place?
By royal edict, you men are to return to Lord Aran immediately. Lord Uther has convinced the king to recall this expedition.
We're to just pick up and leave?
That's correct. My men report that the roads from here to the shore are held by the undead. You'll need to find an alternate route back to your ships.
To hell with the undead. We'll cut our way through the woods, men.
So, this mission.
Captain, why are the guards not at their posts?
Well, my lord, your father had our troops recalled at Lord Uther's request.
Uther had my troops recalled? Damn it! If my warriors abandon me, I'll never defeat Mal'Ganis. The ships must be burned before the men reach the shore.
Isn't that a bit much, lad?
Burned down to their frames. No one goes home until our job here is done.
So, timed mission, but kind of a reverse. We're in a hurry this time. Ahem. So, let's get moving.
Of course.
So why can't they go on the Zeppelin?
Fight our way through the undead.
I've come across a few mercenary camps up here. Perhaps we can hire a few of them.
I mean, that's a pretty obvious answer. How are they going to fit the entire company on a single Zeppelin? But yeah, this is pretty much his first actually evil action right here.
Of course. For honor.
Show us a target.
The light is my strength. Foul knave. Feel my wrath.
That is correct. I'm only reviewing single player. I have no particular reason to touch the multiplayer.
The light is my strength.
You are past redemption. Let's get to fighting. Hey, you! Catch!
I'm ready and waiting.
Of course. A sound plan.
And yes, the emissary was no longer an elf, because he was never an elf. That never makes any sense for the king of humans to say
Damn,
elf.
Uther, for forcing me to do this.
Damn it, Uther. Why'd you do this? So, Muradin here is a little bit too damned loyal. Is this the simplest, nicest way I can put that?
I kill for you. It's slaughtering time. I kill for you.
The light is my strength.
I mean, we could be less kind about that statement if we want to, but...
Of course.
Muradin is being entirely too forgiving here.
What's happening?
Out of loyalty to his friend.
Certainly.
Show us a target.
Justice shall be done.
Hello! Mobile!
I believe you, Evil Knights. Thank you very much, Sastel. Much obliged the sub as always. And if you happen to know where you want to put that one, please let me know. So I can answer and be like, yo, and be like, thank you, and you're awesome.
Sound plan.
But yes, these are mercenaries. In fact, these are specifically Drakari that we're hiring right now.
Shall be done.
Show us a target.
Which makes sense for Northrend. The ogre's not so much.
I stand for the light.
Who's the biggest moron in Warcraft 3? The player. No, I'm kidding.
Of course.
Where do you want us?
The light is my strength.
What you looking at? Okay.
Justice shall be done.
Let's get to fighting.
The light is my strength.
No, that makes perfect sense, Gumgum. Oh god, Aspros, that would be terrible, and also is most likely to happen. Don't worry, that's not actually what will happen. You know what will happen?
I stand for the light.
Warcraft 1 will get a release
Of course.
on mobile. Calling it now. Calling it now.
Is my strength.
Let's get to fighting.
Is there danger? Very good. But there are still more ships to deal with.
God, I would screw Warcraft 1 as is. Ugh. Although it's still better than most mobile games, so I guess there's that.
That's my strength. I'm here to help.
Where do you want us?
Of course.
Let's get to
I'm
fighting.
here to help.
Oh, the Nerubians around here.
I stand for the light.
Listen, you didn't really need custom games, Aston. I mean, you think you want custom games, but what you actually want is WoW Classic.
The light is my strength. For honor.
God, I'm sorry, I'll shut up. I shouldn't laugh. I have to laugh. I have to. What's the alternative? I'll put it towards dealer's choice. Thank you, Zestel, very much.
Is there danger?
I don't even know where to start with that idea, Weods. I mean, that is an Elseworlds kind of story, which I'm usually down for, but that is such an Elseworlds, I don't even know where to begin with that.
Of course. I stand for the light. The light is my strength.
Hello! Our forces are under attack.
I'm here to help. The light is my strength.
Let's get to fighting.
Is there danger?
Where do you want us?
The light is my strength. I stand for the light.
Where do you want us?
Is there danger? stand for the
You're
light.
kinda slow for a human, aren't you?
There it in. Come on, man.
Is there danger?
Let's get to fighting.
The light.
Saddest part of Warcraft 3? Probably the culling, honestly. But, you know, we're already past that, so I don't know.
Justice shall be done. A sound plan.
Let's get to fighting. We'll do it in a jiffy.
Who's saying they aren't, Zedslayer?
Mobile! Gotta go. Me too! Move your arse. Where do you want us?
What about Sylvanas' sad?
Show us a target.
Justice shall be done.
Sorry. I shouldn't be mean.
What you
I stand
Let's
for
get
the
to
light.
fighting.
But no, I could think of many sadder things than Sylvanas. Even back when she was an actual character.
Certainly.
Is there a way?
A sound plan.
I'm trying not to talk about BFA, I swear.
Light is my strength.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till Sylvanas shows up in this game. We're already talking about her.
The light is my strength.
And she's not even in the frickin' game yet. Move your arse.
Hello! We'll do it in a jiffy. Let's get to fighting. Move your arse.
I mean, it burned my home, Crazy Norse. I've pointed this out before.
Justice shall be done.
By the way, this is actually... I'm sorry, I gotta comment on this really quick. This is surprisingly clever in terms of mission design. They essentially set this up so you can't really fight your way through here effectively. You have to run through. Which means you are literally encouraged to put your heavy health units in the front. And they make sure you have plenty of resources to make sure you have ogres. If you're missing all that, the game basically encourages you to sacrifice your mercenaries to get through here.
I stand for the light.
Hello.
Certainly.
That's pretty clever.
Our forces are under attack.
My favorite Pokemon is Crobat.
Is there danger? Justice shall be done. Is there danger?
Let's get to fighting. Gotta go.
The light is my strength.
Where do you want us?
Well done. Only one ship remains. Certainly.
I mean, you're right, of course, Zastil, but even the tooltip said you should sacrifice your troops for this.
I stand for the light. Justice shall be done. Certainly.
We've only got 15 minutes, guys. I don't think I'm going to make it. Because Crobat is amazing. Fast, cool, lovable. It's a good sweeper. It's a good flyer. I've always loved the poison type, but most importantly of all, Crobat only evolves if you take very good care of it. The only way it'll ever evolve is if you have a very strong and careful bond with your Pokemon, and that just kind of works for me.
What's happening?
Our forces are under
I
attack.
stand for the light. Of course. For my father, the king.
Flygon's the dragon type, right, Shadow Machine? Yes, I've become a bitter old man in the last seven years,
Of course.
There is no love.
For honor.
feel like they buffed abominations. I know they didn't. I know it's exactly the same as it always has, but
Of
damn.
course.
I could see that, Aspros.
I'm here to
I'm
help.
kind of ambivalent on the choice, but I can see your point there.
Justice shall be done.
Listen, you just need to get off my lawn, crazy horse.
Betrayer of the light.
When I turned 18, my mother gave me a candle that said I was 81 because she said I was beyond my years. Who's Femlith?
Prince Arthas.
Quickly, my warriors! These murderous creatures have burned our ships and robbed you of your way home. Slay them all in the name of Lordaeron.
Damn beasts!
Kill them all!
Our ships are ruined. What will we do now?
Listen to me, all of you. There is no way home for any of us save through victory. In this land, we will stand or fall together. Now, return to the base and man your posts.
Now, if you're paying attention, we've been complaining about how Mirrodin picks up the, the stupid stick. If we're being 100% honest, he doesn't really. Not really. Because he goes along with burning the ships because he gets that this is a serious threat and we need the army to defeat this horrible threat. So, okay, sure, fine. We'll go ahead and burn the ships. Then Arthas turns on the mercs. That's actually one of the big things for Mirrodin, the point at which Mirrodin starts turning against him. And you'll notice that happens after the mission, before Mirrodin has a chance to stop him. Which leads us to this mission. Probably because it's usually used as an insult. Gum gum.
You lied to your men and betrayed the mercenaries who fought for you. What's happening to you, Arthas? Is vengeance all that's important to you?
Oh, spare me, Mirrodin. You weren't there to see what Mal'Ganis did to my homeland.
The Dark Lord said you would come. This is where your journey ends, boy. Trapped and freezing at the roof of the world, with only death to sing the tale of your doom.
This looks bad. We're completely surrounded.
There's still one chance. Help me claim Frostmourne. If it's as powerful as you said, it might tilt the scales in our favor.
I have a bad feeling about this, lad. But I promised I'd see this through.
I wish she had some mercenaries to help us out here.
I'll leave you to organize our defense. Let's move out.
But you caught that, right? He betrays the mercs, and then the very next thing that Mirrodin does is call him out on it. Before Mirrodin has a chance to actually make any headway in that, Mal'Ganis attacks. So, I don't actually think Mirrodin really picks up the idiot ball. Not really. Alright, so now we get to manage a base while managing a dungeon at the same time. This can get pretty hard, so I'm going to focus on the map, the base side of things first. I think we got this. I'm not super worried,
This
but
better be good.
still.
Say the word.
If you insist.
I would actually believe very strongly that Mal'Ganis, the other M guy here, actually specifically sent this attack, to help keep things rolling along, so to speak. Okay, so let's go with 6. That should be enough. I agree that I don't think at this point in time Arthas cares about his men, but that's because, as I pointed out, he's already crossed over the threshold. That being stated, one of those questions could be asked: is it possible to go too far and not be redeemable? This is something we ask in real life, never mind in terms of fiction. There's always that possibility that you could turn yourself back and pull a Vader, so to speak. I do firmly believe that this was basically the final time at which Arthas could have been reached. Pretty much right here. But Mal'Ganis is like, hey! I'm in your base, attacking your dudes! Let's pull back the Griffin Rider a bit. What's up, Vigilant? How are things? Wait, what? You want me to kill everyone? Everyone? I never thought of it that way. If everyone was dead, they'd be so much happier and so much more peaceful. Oh god, Max Time, that sounds nuts. There'd be no more war. There'd only be joy. And prosperity. Sorry. But for real, though. We need to not go down that route. We got other things to think about. So I want to do... Where's... Do I want to do that? I kind of do. Yeah, yep, I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus on that. Nope, I don't have enough lumber. Waiting patiently for lumber. Clicking a link from Baronessa. Baronessa has a terrible sense of humor. Is there such a thing as mom jokes? I mean, there's dad jokes, right? What's the female version? Oh, there we go. Alright, let's get moving. I think it's absolutely amazingly incredible, Lore Reloaded. Because retcons are always good! Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to have an actual opinion. So... I've said this before. Yes, please do, Max Time. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. I don't care if you change history. I don't care if you retcon things. What I care is that you do something good with it. That's what I care about. In my opinion, what they did to Illidan was took him from an interesting character and made him an even better one. They also, in so doing, corrected their mistake of BC, which was a huge mistake. I came up with an entire term for it during the lore run, Ilzheimer's, just to explain the screw-up during BC.
A sound plan.
So no, I think that was definitely a big net positive to the character and to the setting as a whole.
Of course.
IMO. It probably doesn't help that one of my favorite cutscenes in all of Warcraft history is, I am my scars. For those of you who know the one I'm referring to.
A sound plan.
Yeah, I did a whole Legion lore run. Yes, I like both stories, Elazar. They're both excellent stories. That is possible, Nero says. So far, I'm not what you'd call impressed.
I stand for the light.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
My destiny is my own.
Justice shall be done.
Now, I'm going to stop for a second for something that'll be relevant in a moment here. You'll notice we do hero damage. Hero damage do reduced damage to fortified armor, but that's it. In short, hero damage does 100% damage to everything other than structures and tanks. Keep that in mind for a second, okay?
Of course.
Which is better?
Certainly. For honor. A sound plan.
Pass.
Of course.
I don't know. Neither. Both. Left. The unbearable lightness of being. The unbearable lightness of being. Were you not listening? Okay, we're going to set up some measures here. In fact, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4.
What is it? Righto. Alright.
Because I want to be ready for what's going to happen after I pick up the sword. Not that anything's going to happen when I pick up the sword.
Alright.
By the way, guard towers, these things I'm building right now, are actually incredibly cheap. It's the upgrades that cost materials. It's interesting the way they did that. Do I not have... I don't. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. And where's my...
Job's done.
Do I not have one? There it is.
Job's done.
No, let's go on that. Okay. 6, because we're about to do the hard part. Or rather, we're about to trigger the hard part.
Job's done.
Yeah, funnily enough, some of my favorite cutscenes in all of WoW and all of Warcraft are actually more modern ones. There's one in Warlords. And there's one in Legion. Loktar Ogar. Excuse me. Loktar is the scene in Warlords. And My Destiny is My Own, the rejection of the gift, is the scene in Legion. They liked to meme in Legion, but at least there was a lot of really good stuff in there.
Research complete.
Also, a lot of fan service. Which, as I've said many times, is not necessarily a bad thing.
Turn back, mortals. Death and darkness are all that await you in this forsaken vault.
I doubt there's anything down here more terrifying than what we've faced already.
Believe what you will, boy. You shall not pass.
Research complete.
Of course.
Job's done.
Let's get it on.
It has been argued many times that this is not an undead under the control of the first Lich King. I actually agree with that sentiment to this day. If you want to play Warcraft 3, go for it, Roots. Otherwise, pick it up on sale.
Turn away before it's too late.
Still trying to protect the sword, are you?
No. Trying to protect you from it. Oh.
Research complete.
Yeah, no, these are almost assuredly Vrykul undead. Wait, guys, there's a sword here. Huh.
Behold, Muradin, our salvation. Frostmourne.
Halt, lad. There's an inscription on the dais. It's a warning. It says, "Whomsoever takes up this blade shall wield power eternal. Just as the blade rends flesh, so must power scar the spirit." Oh, I should have known. The blade is cursed. Let's get the hell out of here.
I would gladly bear any curse to save my homeland.
Oh, leave it be, Arthas. Forget this business and lead your men home.
Damn the men! Nothing shall prevent me from having my revenge, old friend. Not even you. Now, I call out to the spirits of this place. I will give anything or pay any price, if only you will help me save my people.
And he does. He pays that price. Over and over again.
Prince Arthas, where is Muradin? We can't hold out for much longer.
Muradin is dead. But take heart, Captain. The enemy will not stand long against the might of Frostmourne.
Much as I'd love to keep holding this wonderful blade, I do have a thing to finish here.
I stand for...
He is now doing chaos damage. Chaos damage does full damage to all armor types. Someone asked earlier what this blade is, It's worth noting that they've been kind of working on some retcons with this. But the long and the short of it is this sucker was actually a Nothrazim artifact. For all their stupidity about intervention and, you know, infiltration and how they have to contractually give themselves away if anybody suspects them for a millisecond, the fact is the Nothrazim have incredibly advanced, I hesitate to call it technology, but that is effectively what it is. It's more like crafting. The Nothrazim are master smiths. They make incredibly advanced things. Like this. Yeah, they effectively have Magitech, and it's some of the highest tier stuff in the entire setting. One of the great ironies of the Lich King has always been that they made him too good, basically.
Is there danger?
Not anymore. I'm not going to look at the Arthas model just yet, because the cutscene will. But yeah, no, they have obviously changed it. Changed the artwork, changed the eyes, the cloak is tattered, the sword is amazing. Here, we'll go and give you one quick zoom, and there you go. It's amazing. Okay, we're done. Let's go kill a lot of people. It's okay. They're not people anymore. They don't count anymore. So who's the Guardian? Oh.
You have a target?
I mean, if you're asking for the canonical answer, I don't know. As I've said, I've always believed, I say always, I am reasonably certain that that is a Vrykul Type 2 undead scenario.
You have a target?
Yes, my friend.
Let's actually get rid of you and pull in you instead.
Your Honor.
Yeah, Ner'zhul was surprisingly smart, careful, and patient, as he should be, honestly, given the circumstances. Let's finish getting our backline set up so we can go after the enemy.
Certainly. For honor.
No. I mean, why would... Okay, let me ask you a real question, Armanzo. You're in a fortress in the frozen north. Undead are assailing you this very second. And you are currently in a besieged situation. And someone comes back saying, have no care, I have the new sword and my eyes are glowing. Now, you're probably going to notice that, but I gotta be honest, I'm pretty sure your mind's on other things in the moment. Call me a weirdo.
Of course. Certainly.
Research complete.
This is also ignoring the fact that part of the reason that Mal'Ganis has been pushing here is specifically to push Arthas into this situation. Like, I'm not trying to be too forgiving of the lore. Lord knows I am more than willing to... Lord knows I am more than willing to fling venom at Warcraft, you know, storytelling and lore. But this makes perfect sense to me, sorry. It is also probably worth noting that his eyes didn't glow and he didn't look all undeady the last time around, although he probably should have, so let's not get into that either. Let's see. Ooh, let's actually go ahead and grab that. What do I think of Lord Garithos? Jackass. When he dies, I'm going to be very amused. He is alive, but soulless. That's the simplest and easiest way to put that. Let's go ahead and pull... yeah, let's go ahead and bolster up. We got the resources to burn here. Greymane? They've been trying to flesh out Greymane. So far they haven't succeeded in my eyes. We'll see. We'll see. No, the sword didn't kill him. The sword just took his soul out. Now, what's actually funny is this has been retconned a couple of times, but the long and the short of it is, at this moment in time, according to current canon, his soul is inside the sword. And so it shall remain for a long time. The angel-looking ability is a AoE resurrection. It resurrects up to 6 nearby friendly units. I'm sorry, which city? Other lore. What does not having a soul... So, okay. You can keep going without a soul in Warcraft. You just aren't the same? Or are generally wrong? I'm saying this wrong. Let me try this again. Let me lead by example. Hey, Evil Knights, what's up? Whoop. God, I can't snap my fingers this week. And now you don't have a soul. For all intents and purposes, you are no longer yourself. You are effectively an entirely new entity. Now, what kind of entity you are, that depends. So, for example, if I decide to give you orders, now that you have no soul, or take control of you, I can kind of turn you into whatever I want to. I could turn you into a puppet, I could turn you into a raving lunatic, I could turn you into... Like, most of the time when you see an undead who is like, all shall perish, that is an undead who has had their soul removed, and what is left behind has been molded, shaped into mwahaha, dead puppies. Make sense? However, you do still have an intellect. This is the key distinction and advantage of the Scourge. Type 3 undead can think. They basically do still have intellect, self-awareness, and general sentience and sapience. Ergo, they can accomplish a lot more than a mindless golem, which is obeying base-level instructions. It's the difference between Data and a frickin' robot arm, to use a Star Trek parallel. Just want to make sure we're covering our back, because I feel like there's a patrol over here. No, it's just meat. It's just people. I mean, you throw anything far enough, it'll do damage. Yes, Type 4 undead can have children, but that wasn't invented until extremely recently. And not a lot of information on it yet. Oh yeah, by the way, I mentioned how Chaos damage does full damage to everything. Arthas is a base wrecker right now, by himself. So, he's gonna be on building duty for the most part. But yes, that's absolutely true. So Papaneeks, so what I just told you is the lore of the setting. We know that because we know the lore of the setting. We are segregated from the setting. Most people in setting do not know everything I just told you about the soul. So most people think that what is happening here is Arthas has become evil, and that he has decided to go, mwahaha, dead puppies. This is not true, as I just mentioned, because this is not Arthas. This is Death Knight Arthas, and I always try to make that distinction very clear. Arthas is currently trapped screaming inside a sword, desperately railing against the rest of himself. He will eventually be able to influence the second Lich King to try and to affect the barest edges of some kind of a plan. But for the most part, he's out of commission. He's no longer part of the equation. That's why I made that whole distinction about you are a separate person without your soul. Because it is important to note that. That also applies to every Death Knight player character within World of Warcraft, par exemple. Well, by the time Wrath comes around, they might have discussed a little bit more. I mean, Lord knows Jaina is aware of that. But, I mean, I don't think it's a commonly discussed topic, you know what I'm saying? I know the game sound is mute. See, look. I was talking. It's really loud, dude. Absolutely, Art Monso. Now, originally I liked the idea that it was all some big plan by Arthas in order to, defeat himself. But truthfully spoken, it's more like Arthas was desperately trying to push in a direction that might have led to him, the second Lich King, being defeated. And luckily, it did end up going that way. It was a hell of a gamble, though. How's our base doing? So a Type 4 undead is something that was invented extremely recently. As of BFA, actually. Type 4 undead is basically what I used to call Type 3C undead, and we just decided to differentiate it because they're going out of the way to make it very, very, very different. Type 4 undead is pure undead. All the advantages, none of the disadvantages. They are top tier, basically. And there's only, like, I think 3 of them in the entire setting at this point in time. There's not a lot of them. Kalia Menethil is a Type 4 undead, for example. Unfortunately, we don't know a lot of the specifics about Type 4 because they haven't really done much with it yet. They've just done some build-up. That's probably going to come up in Shadowlands. But yes, Sylvanas, Nathanos, and Kalia are all Type 4 undead. Art Monso is not a Type 4 undead, and thank goodness for that, we would be screwed. I am 37, Eliza, and thank you very much, Art Monso. Very much obliged and appreciate the bits. Thank you, sir. You know the question. If you happen to know whether you want those to go, please let me know. Otherwise, endless death and destruction shall rain down upon you. And I do mean endless. Let's go get rid of that. Grab that. There we go. Let's see. Arthas, I honestly hope Arthas shows up in Shadowlands, and I hope they do it well. It's the Legion team. So, you know, possible. Sure, we'll put it towards Disco Elysium. Yeah, I'm a youngin'. Explains why my entire life has been a worthless waste of nothing, and I've never accomplished anything in my entire days, but, you know. Let's not get into the whole midlife crisis thing. I know I'm worthless. Moving on. Boop. But yes, Type 4 undead are... Wait, what do you mean? They're effectively immortal. They don't age, they don't rot, they don't anything. For the longest time, we assumed Death Knights were what we now call Type 4 undead. That is currently in the air. We're not actually sure about that one, so... uncertain. See, Type 4 undead, what we do know about them is it takes substantially more to make a Type 4 than anything else, which makes sense. Now, we know the Lich King could do that. That's bad. That's actually really bad. Let's go ahead and withdraw. Yeah, Type 4 is easily the strongest. Like I said, all the advantages, none of the disadvantages. Type 4, like I said, it doesn't age, it doesn't rot, it doesn't have any weaknesses whatsoever. And it has all the undead power coursing through it. We do know it takes a lot. It either takes multiple Valkyr and a sacrifice in order to make, or the power of, you know, the Lich King. You know, in other words, the greatest necromancer the setting's ever known. That's what it takes to make Type 4. Now with the Lich King, effectively the Lich King is gone. We don't know if Bolvar could do it, but he never did. We also know, come on, that the Valkyr can do it, but again, it takes a lot of effort, and, you know, it requires sacrifice. I sincerely doubt we're going to get to Frozen Throne tomorrow. I 100% doubt we'll get to Frozen Throne today. What? No, go here. Sorry, I had to respond to that. I could have done something else, but eh. And yes, Sylvanas curb-stomped Bolvar. Let's just leave that at the doorstep. So the odds that Bolvar can do that now are basically non-existent. Alright, there they are. Favorite Warcraft campaign? Oh, I don't know. Frozen Throne. Yes, all of it. Don't make me choose, dude. Holy Undead are... I was just talking about that, Armanzo. That's Kalia Menethil. Oh my god, Sylvanas was always a Dreadlord! It was never... Jaina. It was always her. It all makes sense now. Your guess is as good as mine, Cornelius. I've never made my own character in WoW. What are you talking about? I certainly don't have, like, 8 of them or anything like that. Why are we... What the hell are you guys doing? Not you guys. No losses. Yes, everyone's a Dreadlord, but they can't, like, they know the rules, so they can't accuse each other of being Dreadlords. That's why they always give away, like, aha, you have found me! It's because they're so glad to finally reveal that, you know, they're not a Dreadlord. Anyways. But they are a Dreadlord, excuse me. Kind of, yes, Nero says, although this mission on hard is brutal as hell. I remember having to come up with entirely new strategies just to push through this one mission on hard. Yikes. Although a lot of the last missions in Warcraft 3 are like that, so I guess that's not unique to it. Sound back on.
Foul knave.
Feel my wrath.
But no, while I have a couple of echoes on Azeroth because it's such a Nexus planet, most of the people there are recruits. Locals who are brought into the Empire, basically. For honor. Oh, so you're finally going to stop playing your rogue, Bragwin. I have been trying to convince Bragwin to stop playing her rogue for literally years. Literally years. And she keeps being like, no, I'm going to keep playing my rogue. And I'm like, but you hate it! No, I'm going to keep playing my rogue. I just shake her like, what are you doing? Stop playing rogue. Oh my god. I'm probably going to shift off of warrior if I ever play Shadowlands. Switch over to my demon hunter.
A sound plan.
Who would be my Padawan? Palpatine. I don't know. I have no idea, really.
For my father, the king.
Do I think Arthas could have won this without the sword? Yes, actually, I do. But he couldn't have killed Mal'Ganis without the sword. Now, okay. We need to talk about that for a second. So, retcon territory. Originally, the way the lore worked... This series is about to end. The mission's about to end, so give me a second. The original way that the lore worked is demons could only be permanently killed, by some significant power, right? So, Frostmourne, or being destroyed by a well, or the detonation of the World Tree, right? In short, that was the original idea. I forget exactly when, but it was sometime around Warlords, I want to say, when they retconned that and said, no. Demons have to be killed in their home plane. It might have been before that, but... I mention all this, though, to explain why it is that he needed Frostmourne for Mal'Ganis, because the original idea was the only way to permanently kill Mal'Ganis, in lore even, was to use Frostmourne. Because the idea is that his resurrecting back in the Stratholme mission was actually a lore point, not a gameplay point. Obviously, that has all been retconned. Honestly, I kind of like the original version better, to be completely blunt. So I don't know what Miracle of Music is. Oh, Miracle of... Right. I don't think I've ever heard Miracle of Music.
Certainly.
So I suppose that's my answer. Oh.
Of course. For honor.
Research complete.
So, you've taken up Frostmourne at the expense of your comrades' lives, just as the Dark Lord said you would. You're stronger than I thought.
You waste your breath, Mal'Ganis. I heed only the voice of Frostmourne now.
You hear the voice of the Dark Lord. He whispers to you through the blade you wield. What does he say, young human? What does the Dark Lord of the Dead tell you now?
He tells me that the time for my vengeance has come.
What? He can't possibly mean to...
It is finished.
And he gets away with that because it is such a sudden turn of events that the other Dreadlords weren't expecting it. Remember, at the time this was written, that was supposed to be the permanent death of Mal'Ganis. Obviously, we interacted with him several times after this. After taking his vengeance upon Mal'Ganis, Prince Arthas wandered into the frozen wastelands of Northrend. Tormented by Frostmourn's maddening voice, Arthas lost the last vestiges of his sanity. Now driven by the sword's dark will, Arthas plans to return home to Lordaeron and claim his just reward. Probably one of the better cutscenes in Warcraft 3 Vanilla. And yeah, plenty of his men survived. That's actually Falric and Marwyn right next to him there.
Ah, my son. I knew you no longer need to sacrifice for your people. You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown. I've taken care of everything.
What is this? What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
This kingdom shall fall, and from the ashes shall arise a new order that will shake the very foundations of the world.
In this case, Evil Knights, the Lich King. The first Lich King, of course. Honestly, I imagine it's supposed to be both. They were just, you know, happy to see him back, spoke of. Especially since he came back with word that he'd succeeded! He defeated the great threat of the demon! Everything's awesome. Everything's awesome. No, G-Juice. It is absolutely not. The first Lich King has only been around for, God, 5 or 6 years at this point. Well, Max Time, I want you to imagine that... This is going to sound weird, but he's kind of like Sora, to use a Kingdom Hearts parallel. Not literally, but... Oh, actually, Xehanort might be a better example. But the idea is he gains power, the essence of the Lich King. Whatever the Lich King is gains power each additional iteration. So, the first Lich King, actually fairly weak, relatively speaking. Then he gains all the power of Arthas. So, the second Lich King becomes substantially stronger. It has been argued the third Lich King is the strongest, which makes the Sylvanas thing even more irritating, but yeah. Exactly, Wiseman. I'll show you the power of being the third strongest. See you around, Shadow Machine. Have a good one. So, plus to the descent of Arthas, specifically. Yeah, no kidding, Promise. I mean, they couldn't do the interesting thing and actually have her put on the crown. That would be terrible. Sorry. I'm gonna pencil in another positive here, basically for mission variety. But, yeah. Hit refresh, Valkorian. It's Twitch. It's something to do with the way Twitch processes the audio when you're playing on something other than native resolution. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start Undead. I don't think we'll finish it today. Oh yeah, absolutely spoke of. Yeah, everyone freaks out over this and tries to react to it. Hi, Tichondrius. Hi, Invincible.
What trickery is this? Mal'Ganis! I don't know how you survived, but I will...
Calm yourself, Prince Arthas. I am Tichondrius. Like Mal'Ganis, I am a Dreadlord. But I am not your enemy. In truth, I've come to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
By killing your own father and delivering this land to the Scourge, you have passed your first test. The Lich King is pleased with your enthusiasm.
Yes. I've damned everyone and everything I've ever loved in his name. And I still feel no remorse, no shame, no pity.
The rune blade that you carry was forged by the Lich King and empowered to steal souls. Yours was the first one it claimed.
Then I'll make do without one. What is the Lich King's will?
The cult of the damned must be rallied once again. Many of the acolytes have been in hiding amongst the populace. Once you've rallied them, I will give you further instructions.
don't see why not, Gum Gum. So it's not quite invincible, even though it's supposed to be invincible.
Frostmourne hungers.
It looks pretty cool. I'm with it.
Tread lightly. This is more like it.
So welcome to... I mean, it doesn't really look like Invincible. I have Invincible, so, you know, it's actually my main mount. And yes, Tichondrius is a little bit different looking than Mal'Ganis. Just a little. That's nice.
No one orders me around.
So he's back to being level 1 with hero damage. This is entirely a lore gameplay segregation thing.
Tread lightly.
The idea here in lore is he was a paladin, and now he's a Death Knight. So, in lore, the idea is that his level 1 Death Knight is the equivalent of his level 10 paladin. But they can't do that because of gameplay and balance reasons, so they basically just chop him down to level 1, and it's level 1, so... Yeah, a reverse Cecil kind of a thing, exactly.
Frostmourne hungers.
But again, this is segregation, not integration, so doesn't get any points for it.
This is more like it.
Greetings, great lord. Our master, Kel'Thuzad, told us that you would come.
Kel'Thuzad? How could he have known it?
Be wary. If the townsfolk see your undead minions, they'll call the local guards to stop you.
Oh no, that's always been a plot point, Crazy Norse. See, the Kel'Thuzad basically founded the Cult of the Damned amongst the disenfranchised. People who were tired of the bickering lords, or the aristocrats who were profiting off of the masses, or, you know, blah, 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 blah. Basically, let's put it to you this way. 2 massive continental wars have just swept through the area that they barely survived, okay? Now, that already kind of destabilizes the hell out of everything. In the immediate wake of that, most of the people who are rich and wealthy and powerful didn't actually... They pulled a World War I, to put it as bluntly as I possibly can. Rather than trying to fix things and come up with a new method to prosper and benefit everything and blah, 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 blah. Instead, what they did was they were like, all right, back to my feasting. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, this is so good. Here, tell the peasants that the taxes have been raised. We have to pay for all the repairs, after all. I mean, the orcs just swept through. We saved you. Yeah, Thrall's owner is a perfect example of this kind of idiot. So, yeah, long story short, Crazy Norse, a lot of people were down for joining the Cult of the Damned. It wasn't even about we must purge the thing, because the original Blackmoor, that's it, thank you, Blackmoor. The original sales pitch was, you could keep living your existing life, or you could continue to live forever in a better life as undead. And to be 100% blunt, I mean, can you really blame them? I hate to say that, but at least the initial wave, can you really blame them? Later on, the Cult of the Damned would basically be demoted to being a bunch of, you know, zealous idiots, because for some reason, WoW really, really likes the idea of zealous idiots.
This is more...
But that initial cult, the initial Cult of the Damned, which is the one that happens here in Warcraft 3, yeah.
Frostmourne hungers.
So I was asked, what do I prefer, the Death Knight or the Paladin? So the Paladin has an invincibility, a heal, which is also an undead nuke, a res, and additional defense. The Paladin has...
No one orders me around.
The exact same thing. The Aura, which actually gives regeneration and movement bonus. Death Pact, which is useless unless you're doing specific strategies. And Animate Dead, which is basically the worst version of it. Put simply, the Death Knight is basically a poor man's version of a Paladin in gameplay, in my opinion.
What is it now?
I probably would not Tesla, but that's only because of suspicion more than anything else.
At last.
Yeah, no kidding, Papa Neeks. The Blood Trainer.
Finally.
Mercy,
I
my lord.
live only to
Faithless
serve,
coward.
great lord.
Prince Arthas, arm yourselves!
Yeah, exactly, Snorda.
Speak, fool.
Moving on.
This is more like it. I'll make sure you suffer.
Seek out the local graveyards. Those buried there will serve you well.
Yeah, it's almost like MOBA was invented in Warcraft 3. What type of weather do I like most?
Ah, at last.
Either really crisp, like 50s, 60s-ish weather with like lots of sunshine and lots of wind, or pouring rain.
Finally. I shall be your eyes.
So now we have the shade.
I'll look into it.
This is our scout.
Let's see.
The observer of the group. They are invisible. They cannot attack. They can see invisible units. And they have nice big vision ranges.
Let's see. I'll look into it.
By the way, I hope you'll forgive me, but I really like the music in this section, so...
Let's see. I'll look into it. Let's see.
So we got that guy, and I feel like there's another one over here.
I'll look into it.
So, I'm gonna get real for just a second. Is that cool, guys? If it's not, then I'll just kill you and raise you as my undead minions.
I'll look into it. All shall be revealed.
I've talked a lot about how I had to, you know, learn how to
No one orders me
express
around.
feelings I actually feel. I've talked about that before,
like
and how
it.
I don't really know how to explain it better than that. So I hope that just kind of works for you.
My life for Nazul.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Pull them back a bit.
Frostmourne hungers.
It's very difficult for me to be human. I had to learn that trait.
You will know endless torment.
One of the things I sympathize with, though, is having a difficulty feeling.
I'll make sure you suffer. Faithless coward.
Anybody else relate to that one?
Frostmourne hungers.
What needs revealing?
It's one of the reasons why I tend to put such value on anything that actually makes me feel.
Finally.
It's not that common.
Speak, fool. I'll make sure you
That's why I just I don't know, guys. Know if you guys remember this. When I was going through FF6, there was a point. It was right before I went to Zozo, and I just paused for a second, and I was like, "Sorry, guys, I'm just feeling. Give me a moment." I would rather not answer that, Eliza, if that's okay. I don't like to give away personal information on the internet. I know, weird. So, when I first played Warcraft 3, it connected with me in a way I didn't really know how to vocalize, and it took me a while to understand. It was, I mean, it's a great setting, and it had some lore and some fantastic storytelling and interesting characters and blah, blah, blah. But it took me a while to realize that it was the first time I saw something that appealed to me about the way I've always felt. And that is undeath. I'm not saying I'm literally undead. I still have to go to the bathroom and sleep and eat, just like any other squishy human. But I don't really feel human. You know what I mean? Like, not really. So the idea of undeath absolutely appealed to me. Especially the way they were showcasing it, and to be 100% blunt,
I bow to your will.
the way they were romanticizing it. Because prior to Warcraft, most undead in settings were raving, you know, horrible zombies that eat people's intestines and just horrible, awful stuff, right? And I'm just like, whoa! Whoa, that's horrible! As opposed to this. One of the things I've always loved about the Warcraft setting is how much it romanticizes things rather than sticking its face into the muck and really stirring it around there. It's one of the reasons I never liked Game of Thrones, is because it just got a little bit too Blecky for me, you know?
This is more like it. I bow to your will.
All of that was a preface for saying that I was enjoying Warcraft 3 the first time I played it, but then I got to the point where I started these missions, basically, and it just started clicking.
At last.
And as I've already given away, this is my favorite faction to play as, so...
You will know endless torment.
Now, you can actually skip this fight here. Yeah, Warcraft romanticizes everything, even peasantry. Which is good.
I'll make sure
I want it to keep romanticizing things. I do not want the reality. I want you to imagine for a moment.
Your pain shall be legendary.
What's something really Blecky? Help me out here for a second.
Tread lightly. Finally.
Warhammer. No, worse than that. Like, let's go down. We could go down from there. Whoops, I wasn't paying attention. That's my fault. That's my fault.
What is it now?
I meant more in terms of, like, fiction, but sure.
You will know endless torment.
Saw. Okay, we'll go with that. Saw. I want you to imagine something done as realistically as Saw, with the intent to torchify and grossify as Saw. Now I want you to think about Warcraft, and then I want you to realize that you don't even have to go that far to make that work. Warcraft, by its nature, is actually pretty horrible, which is why it is so romanticized. Because if it wasn't, this would be unbearable. Think about how many ways there are to die or worse in this setting. Think about how many different types... We have to classify the different types of undead in this setting. Think about Thessarian, who was forced to kill his own wife or mother, or I don't remember, I think it was his mother. Just because, basically. Yeah, Warcraft is as dark as Diablo, it just doesn't languish in it like Diablo does. Which is a key distinguishing point between the two. It was the mother, okay, okay. Now, don't mistake me. We shouldn't romanticize everything, because that'd just be horrible.
Finally.
But I do enjoy a good romanticization. Oh my god.
Bastard.
What did I do? All I did was kill my dad and a bunch of other people. Jeez. People just don't know when to let go.
At last.
Okay, fine. I'll take the actual path. Fine.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. To your will.
Good night, Life.
Mercy, my lord.
What is it now?
Yeah, Song of Fire and Ice is another good example of something that is just as horrible as it probably should be. Ah, crap.
Finally.
I got so wrapped up in killing the innocent villagers.
Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers.
My life for Nazur.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. I bow to your will. This is more like it.
Yeah, exactly, Tesla. That's kind of my point, though. Like, I don't think that should be as romanticized as this, but you can see the distinction between the two.
These graves were dug recently. Arise in the name of the Lich King.
At this point, I have no idea, Roger Brock.
No one orders me around. What is it now? This is more like it. I shall be your eyes.
So, can't think of something as romanticized as this? Pirates of the Caribbean. Easy answer.
All shall be revealed.
Think about it.
I go unseen.
Something romanticized in Warcraft?
I'll look
everything? I liked Detective Pikachu, Eliza. Does that count?
All shall be revealed.
Yeah, Star Wars is also romanticized.
Let's see.
I mean, undeath is pretty romanticized in this. So.
Speak, fool.
Then no, Eliza. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is actually another pretty good example.
No one orders me around.
What is the appeal of undead?
Say your prayers.
I suppose it depends on what you're doing with them.
Your pain shall be legendary. Finally.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Near as as.
At last. I'll make sure you suffer.
So, I don't know how to answer you, Evil Knights, for real. Because it's like, what is the appeal? What's something you like, Evil Knights? And then immediately after that, why do you like that? Like, it's that whole preference thing. Certain things just click with different people in different ways. Oh, I'd rather not, True to 4. Warcraft already retcons itself too much. Let's not add Kingdom Hearts to the mix. Okay, so... I was going to say something, and I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. Star Trek kind of toes the line between romancing and not romancing.
Hungers.
It kind of depends on the specific show and who's writing it, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, Undead. So I was going to talk about gameplay. So they've already tried to introduce us to the different way that the undead play and feel. So we've got the ghouls who are ghouls who are a little bit faster and hit a little bit harder, I think, but have substantially less health and armor than the footmen, and way less overall defenses in terms of livability than the orcs. They do, however, have that. They can just eat enemy corpses to heal. Now, that may sound like a minor thing, but that one tiny thing means that basically after every combat, you have the ability to heal your troops, which is something that the humans don't really have the ability to do, unless you are, you're at the point where you have priests. So yeah, a little heavier focus on micro, and that's actually the undead in general, heavier focus on micro. Now, I want to talk about one other thing really quick. So back when Warcraft 3 wasn't actually the game it is now, when it was just the squad-based combat thing, the undead actually were the only units that had a resource. And that resource was units, corpses, basically. And they had the ability to generate corpses, and they had the ability to, find... There was, like, corpse camps they could find. Like, we just found that graveyard just now, and that just gave us units. But they also had the ability, of course, to make corpses out of enemy units, because that's how that works. And that was their big shtick, is they were basically pound for pound weaker than any of the other forces, but they had the ability to get more units in a way that no one else did. Because no one else could build units, remember. It was an interesting dynamic, and I'm kind of curious how that would have gone if they'd gone down that original point.
I bow to your will.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you, Rhino Noble. We must forever destroy each other in eternal battle of disagreement. At least I think that's what the internet tells me we should do.
All shall be revealed. Speak, fool. What needs revealing?
Like, if nothing else, Warcraft 3 all of Warcraft romanticizes
all shall be revealed.
War, which is a very, very, very horrible thing. And here it's portrayed almost universally as this big, glorious thing.
Tread lightly.
Do I like Digimon? No, but I've also never tried it. So...
I bow to your will. I shall be your eyes.
That's true, Mr. Ed. I disagree very slightly.
Tread lightly.
What type of anime do I like? None? None would be my answer to that.
The undead! Sound the alarm!
This is more
You've
like
betrayed us all!
I have not.
For the Lich King. Speak, fool. What is it now?
No one orders me around.
Speak.
What is it now?
That's true. Arthas never betrayed anyone.
Frostmourne hungers.
What happened to Witcher 2 that made me put it down? Everything. And totally not something I refuse to even say out loud because of how much it bothers me.
Great Lord. Finally.
The darkest period in Azeroth? Oh, jeez. Honestly, and I know this is kind of the duh answer here, but I would have to say it's the War of the Ancients. I mean, yeah, you know?
My sight is yours.
Think about it.
All shall be revealed.
Speak, fool. Your pain shall be legendary.
Burn in hell.
Oh no, max time, no! Actually, I do hope the PS5 is backwards compatible, so... Yeah, there's also the period of the Black Empire. So that's pretty bad, too. Frostpunk?
My life for Nazul.
Yes and no. I'm gonna go with yes, though, mostly.
Like it.
Especially because of how enjoyable it was.
Frostmourne hungers.
I have played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I have not played Assassin's Creed Syndicate. After the War of the Ancients, the darkest period in history is probably...
This is more like it.
Yeah, actually, the Third War probably qualifies, because holy crap.
Finally.
I was thinking about that for a bit. The other qualifier was the major Legion invasion. Because the Legion has never invaded like they did during Legion since the War of the Ancients, and...
All shall be revealed.
The Third War is the game you're watching right now, Tesla. The Third War covers the events of Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne.
This is more like it.
Cataclysm is pretty high up there, too.
Stand ready.
But Cataclysm was... Like, the Cataclysm itself, as weird as this may sound, wasn't really the big devastating event of Cataclysm. It was the sea changes it did to the people, and the cultures, and the society, and the nations that really pushed Cataclysm. That being stated, it's worth noting that a lot of people got a lot better during Cataclysm because of the fact that the world was moving forward, and the Alliance was actually unified for the first time in its entire history. Blah, 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 blah.
No one orders me around.
It is also when the Horde became the bad guys again, so I have a personal vendetta against it for that. Thanks for that. It's okay, they became the good guys, and then they became the bad guys again, so that's nice. Why did Sylvanas destroy the Lich King's crown? So she could open up the barrier between the realm that this is and the realm of the dead. The Shadowlands themselves. What do I think the light is? It's an energy source. That's an easy answer.
Tread lightly.
My light to your will. What needs revealing?
Mercy, my lord.
What is it now? Speak, fool.
Well done, Death Knight. The cult is nearly assembled.
Lordaeron lies in ashes. What good are these cultists to us now?
They will aid you in your next undertaking.
And what's that?
You will go to Underhall and recover the remains of the Acolyte's former master, the necromancer, Kel'Thuzad.
I think you mean Kel'Th the Awesome. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of bleak, no. I don't mind things that are dark that get better. I don't mind things get bad and then they turn good, you know? I probably shouldn't even answer that question, Evil Knights. I like the idea of undeath being another form of life, which is what it is in Warcraft. It's not just a corpse. In fact, you don't even have to die to be undead in Warcraft. You can just be converted. That's a thing. It is simply another method of existence. And I also really like the idea that is presented that there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, and you can, in fact, be a decent person and use it for good ends, which is also a thing in Warcraft. In fact, Warcraft hits that point a lot. Fel, Void, and Undeath are all generally bad things, but can be used for good. And yeah, it's actually better to be converted, because you'll be converted full tilt. Just... Anyways, does that answer you, Evil Knights, without getting too personal? Like, I mean, okay, you're going to give me super ridiculous power, but I can use it for good. Hell yes, is my answer to that. I mean, my first, well, actually my third, but my main characters have always been Forsaken, because I've always loved that concept. The idea of being someone who is an undead, but not evil. And I know everyone in chat's going to be like, but you are evil, Lore. But no, for real, I loved that concept. Especially back in WoW Vanilla. One of the few things I'll praise WoW Vanilla about. The Forsaken were portrayed as a pretty big gradient of people. There were good people, there were bad people, and there were just people who were just trying to do their jobs, right? But a lot of the story arcs for the Forsaken quests in Vanilla, in the original stuff, were all about how the Scarlet Crusaders were dicks, and just about everyone else refused to to basically treat them as anything other than monsters that need to be destroyed. And that's the Forsaken. That's why they're called that.
This crude contraption will allow you to transport the remains of our master.
Can you not simply raise the remains when we find them?
Pardon, Lord, but a being of Kel'Thuzad's power can only be reanimated at a nexus of powerful ley energies, and there are no such places in this land.
Very well then. Let's move out.
I do too, Supreme Moon. So, once again, no base, by the way. You notice we haven't had a base mission yet for the undead. We will.
At last.
So this is one of the mechanics of the siege units for these guys. So notice they do a ridiculous amount of damage. As I mentioned, meat wagons are arguably the best siege weapons in this game, at least in vanilla. They have decent armor, relatively low speed, relatively low health, tons of damage, tons of range, and they can take in corpses. In fact, you can set them to automatically take in corpses. They can then automatically dump those corpses. Corpses can be used for these guys, ghouls, to eat, to heal them. Not a really good use for them. Or they can be used for necromancers, that is to say necromancers, in order to raise skeletons. A very good use for them.
No one orders me around.
Well, see, I read up on the orcs, Gum Gum. The orcs are as close as it gets to romanticized.
Speak, fool.
Over in Warhammer 40k.
This is more like it.
Like, I don't want to know... I basically just mentally ignore the Eldar. Or, excuse me, the Dark Eldar. But the orcs are awesome.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers.
For the greater good, Isariel.
No one orders me around.
I love how their name, by the way, is the Champions of Peace. Ha ha ha.
Speak, fool. Folly.
Must feed.
Oh.
No one orders me around.
Arthas,
Stop this madness before it's too late.
Shut up, Gavin Rad.
Stand aside, brother. I've come to collect some old bones and I don't wish to be disturbed.
Want to know another thing that's romanticized? Fallout. Which is good, because Fallout would be bleak as hell if it wasn't. My goodness.
What is it now?
Which is why I love Fallout 2. Fallout 2 is probably the most romanticized of them.
This is more like it.
Radiation, also known as magic.
Speak, fool. Welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Unlikely. There will be no learnings today. Ah. Well, see, that's why the Death Knight is the way to go, Vigilant. Or Type 4 Undead, now that that's a thing. Thank you very much, as always, Vigilant. Much obliged, sir. And make sure you're here Sunday to, you know, vote on the thing that's going to be relevant for him. But yeah, I replayed Fallout 2 somewhat recently, and I forgot that Fallout 2 was when the series started getting silly. Because it totally is. Like, before Fallout 2, you know, Fallout 1 was still a fairly serious tale. Fallout 2 is joke, reference, reference, joke, reference, joke. Child slavery, reference, joke, reference, reference, joke. Like, it was weird.
Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. I'll make sure you suffer.
No, the Master was Fallout 1.
Finally.
Yeah, I get you, I get you.
What is it now?
I like to think it was deliberate, Crazy Norse, but I could be wrong.
No one orders me around.
They modded Old World Blues into Hearts of Iron? Seriously?
What is it now?
Crap.
No one
I can't believe that we ever called you brother. I knew it was a mistake to accept a spoiled prince into our order. You've made a mockery of the Silver Hand.
What is with this guy's voice acting? Jesus.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly.
Sorry, I'm trying to see something. I can't quite tell. You could actually tell what they were flinging in the original. It was really low polygons of just a torso, basically.
No one orders me around. What is it now? Speak, fool.
Yeah, this is not World of Warships. As much as some people wish it was.
I'll make sure you suffer. Ah, at last. Come along now, Necromancer. The powers that you once served have need of you again.
Told you, my death would mean little.
He did.
What the? Am I hearing ghosts now?
It is I, Kel'Thuzad.
I was right about you, Prince Arthas.
It took you long enough. These remains are badly decomposed. They will never survive the trip to Quel'Thalas.
Quel'Thalas?
Yes. Only the energies of the High Elves' Sunwell can bring Kel'Thuzad back to life.
Then what must be done?
You must steal a very special urn from the Paladin's keeping. Place the Necromancer's remains within it, and he will be well protected for the journey.
As you wish.
Interesting to think that, realistically speaking, he probably didn't actually need that.
Thy bidding, Master.
Suppose we can build stuff now.
My fate is sealed.
Undead are like Protoss.
Yes,
Fire and forget when it comes to building.
I wish only to serve.
World of Shipcraft.
What is it now?
Yeah, I'd play that.
Blight is created when undead structures are summoned. Buildings can only be summoned onto Blight, with the exception of the Necropolis.
Actually, this can be summoned. Yeah, they have to build on creep, and they can fire and forget. They also have arguably the best defensive unit.
Must haunt the gold mine before the acolytes can begin harvesting gold.
Bones, because why not? So anyways, it's very likely they were lying about the Sunwell thing. They probably could have rezzed Kel'Thuzad several places, despite being an art glitch. However, it's extremely likely that they wanted to bring down the elves anyways. Well, I'm sorry, let's rewind that. They absolutely wanted to bring down the elves anyway, so pointing the Scourge in that direction was obviously part of the goal to begin with. But it's likely they wanted to cut off the Sunwell specifically because of the fact
is complete.
That they wanted to use that as a way to cut the elves off from the Sunwell, and thereby, in so doing, basically prevent the elves from being a problem going forward.
Blight, wounded undead units regenerate faster.
Because remember, the previous well was one of the big reasons why the Legion lost last time.
I gladly obey.
So these are ziggurats. Ziggurats are the food and tower defense of the Scourge. And for once, that kind of thing actually works very much in their favor. As I said, these are some of the best defensive towers in the game, in my opinion, because they are relatively cheap.
Thy bidding, Master.
You know, compared to some other things. And you want a lot of them anyways, and they do piercing damage relatively quickly. I'm probably mistaking some of the reasons why they're good, but I do remember them actually being good, so I'm going to stand by that statement.
I bow to your will. Yes, Master.
They don't actually have spider legs, those are bones. This actually isn't the building. This is a summoning site. Mind-controlled, or mind-affected to be more accurate, Vandalia, but that's not willing, no.
Summoning is complete.
Because you see, once it's done, there's a building there. I mean, if you got the resources to do that, Snortut, then you've already won. Yeah, undead are generally very hard to rush or siege. Is the way I think I want to phrase that. So let's go ahead and put that up. Let's put it up over here.
My fate is sealed.
And then don't.
Summoning is complete.
Depends on which Tyrande we're talking about, because there's the one in this game who's an actual character, and there's the one in WoW who is not.
I gladly obey.
Now this is interesting. They let us queue up even if we don't have the resources at the time, on the off chance that we get the resources when we get there. Now we didn't, so we're just going to go without there.
Thy will be done.
What is it now?
1, 2, 3, 4. So, ghouls are probably one of the better overall lumber miners once they're fully upgraded, because they harvest a whole bunch of lumber. They're more combat capable, so they can defend themselves, and they get a speed upgrade, so they can just... However, if you're paying attention, that is the second time that part of their infrastructure is also part of their military. No, I'm with you, Gum Gum. Probably Ovain. We'll see. We'll see.
Summoning is complete. Summoning is complete.
One of my favorite setups is Spirit Tower, Spirit Tower, Spirit Tower, Frost Tower. See you around max time. Tell him happy birthday for me from some random person he's never heard of before.
Speak, fool. Summoning is complete.
Grab our upgrades here. We don't have access to much, so we're just going to be ghoul spamming, basically. Neither, Elizar. Tyrande is someone who is very driven, who is someone we'll talk about more later, but I don't think she is either moron or mean. I'm curious why you would say that. I already have.
I bow to your will.
We do. Sure. Gotta build our Noxoramus here. I do love the Egyptian style of architecture. Consequently, I love the style of architecture for the Forsaken. I mean, the Undead. At the very end of the campaign, Tesla. It's part of the secret ending, actually. By the way, you probably were wondering what I mentioned about carrying 20 lumber. So they can carry 20 lumber at default. Humans, for example, can carry 10. However, humans can be upgraded to carry 20, I think, at final upgrade.
Complete.
The orcs, I don't think, get any upgrades with regards to lumber. However, the night elves get the best lumber generation by far, which actually amuses the hell out of me. Listen, the Black Empire is love. The Black Empire is life. Normally I'd defense up, but they're not going to attack me here, so I have no reason to do this. I did say that on the WoW lore run, Elizar. I don't remember saying that in Warcraft 3, but then again, that was 7 years ago. Let's go ahead and do...
I wish only to serve.
This.
Yes, master.
Which faction did I main for multiplayer? You're looking at it.
Summoning a graveyard will supply the undead army with fresh corpses.
Yeah, by the way, these are actually corpses that are popping up around here. So. I know, right, Tesla? There's actually a whole lot of gameplay story segregation in Warcraft 3. It makes it hard to really get a handle on the story in some cases, because it's like, what's actually happening in this scene? So there's always a lot of interpretation going on. If only they had done a proper remake where they could have codified a lot of that stuff and smoothed it out, but, you know. Yes, it is, Mihawk. He voices several characters in this game.
Upgrade complete.
Summoning is complete. Summoning is complete.
More gold is required. Ghouls harvest lumber for the undead army.
Really? Because she's not a character, Elizar. So they lean on her being obstinate for no reason so that she can make other characters look good. Well, you see, Regibrock. Quantum. I'd have to play the whole game on mute, Gum. No, again, seriously. Story and gameplay segregation. That is the legitimate answer to your question. It really is the hallmark of this game. It's all over the place.
My fate is sealed. Thy will be done.
That'd be a fun stream. Here's the game I'm streaming. Mute. The whole stream is silent. WoW does have time travel. They've changed how it works once, so there are two versions of how it works. Technically, I shouldn't say that. We'll see, but at the moment, the version of time travel that exists within WoW is still currently coherent. So I guess I should say they codified it, and we're currently still at that type of time travel, which is an extremely unusual form of Type 3 time travel. It's actually more like a merger of Type 3 and Type 2.
Summoning.
Basically, there's a prime timeline, and then there's everything else. The prime timeline can't actually be altered in the strictest sense of the word, except when it can. But a lot of effort is spent to make sure that it does not get altered. Okay, you guys need to stop killing my own troops. Over there.
No one orders me around. This is more like it. No one orders me around.
Oh, absolutely, Syndred. I would buy a Warcraft Grand Strategy the day it came out.
Finally.
Vile betrayer! You are not fit enough to even carry your father's name! Why Uther ever vouched for you is beyond me. You've stripped him of his honor by casting yours to the winds. You deserve a gruesome death, boy.
No, I do not, Elazar. Favorite RTS? Probably StarCraft 2, honestly. StarCraft 2 is a really, 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 really good game, in my opinion.
Speak, fool.
All its flaws. It is a damned good game.
No one orders me around. Speak, fool.
Look, we'll get a Warcraft 4 the moment I take over the world, okay? I do think the introduction of Type 3 undead, especially in such quantities, caused severe issues for the ecosystem of the world. Especially since it did cause severe issues for the ecosystem of the world. In fact, that's one of the main things Shadowlands is about, believe it or not.
What is it now?
Yes, I have a Patreon to that goal. It's called Operation Bellhammer.
Speak, fool.
Yeah, they grow back, Gum Gum. So they just punch them out and they'll grow back eventually.
At last.
You'll also notice the undead are encouraged, basically by the very design of the game, to be a lot less,
What is it now?
caretaking with their units. So, what I mean by that is, if you're paying attention during the human campaign, I took like 5 losses the entire campaign. The whole time, I was able to keep my units alive because of the way the humans were designed, or the campaign was designed.
No one orders me.
Here, we're basically encouraged to throw wave after wave of ourselves.
Your betrayal has broken Uther's heart, boy. He would have given his life for yours in a second. And this is how you repay his loyalty?
In order to take down the substantially superior units of the enemy. No, 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 no.
Tread lightly. Frostborn hungers. No one orders me around.
You'll also notice the enemy is almost typically using the knights and footmen, the more armored things. So basically, it takes longer to take them down than it otherwise would. I mean, look how long this is taking for me to kill 4 enemy units here. And we're using, well,
no one orders me around.
We're effectively using lumberyard people, like people who are supposed to. Whoa, pull back. We're supposed to be doing the lumber gathering.
No one orders me around.
So
speak, fool. At last.
Hey, the nobody.
What is it now?
So there's a Mass Effect 5, and I can play any race. Turian. Duh. Turians are cool.
Faithless coward. What is it now?
Well, the proper remake of FF5, the proper remake of FF6, the proper remake of FF7, you get the idea. All the proper remakes will get released.
No one orders me.
I'm also going to make a bunch of 4X and grand strategy games, along with some RTSs and some tactical turn-based games like XCOM.
Speak, fool.
Set in Star Wars, Star Trek, Warcraft, StarCraft. I also want to build that city builder StarCraft game I've been tooling around with for a while.
What is it now? No one orders me around.
It's one of the reasons, Elizar. The other reason is RTS games don't sell that well.
What is it now?
When compared to,
I'll make sure you
games that do sell a lot. Yep, we got to make that Pokemon Gym Manager game, which we've also been kind of putting together over the years. I say we on that one, because...
Tread lightly.
Yeah, RTS games don't make that much money. They're niche games, like CRPGs. Now, they still make money.
Finally.
But for a large-scale corporation, they don't make enough money. They need to make more money. They need to make this level of money. And they don't. And frankly, if I could be 100% blunt, I think that is the single biggest reason why Warcraft 3 Reforged is the disappointment that it is. The reason this is not a proper remake, the reason they didn't throw themselves into this project, the reason they didn't completely overturn this thing and absolutely go back to their roots and make an amazing RTS...
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Is because our dedication was not rewarded. Because it doesn't make the kind of money that their other products do. Like it or not, Diablo Immortal is probably going to make a ton of money. Thank you very much, Melkor Blade. Very much obliged and appreciate, as always, your support. Thank you, sir. And I also hope you will be there Sunday, because, again, we've got that vote. And I believe Grandia is on that list. Let me double check. Oh, it is not. I'm sorry. Well, whatever. Ignore me. I'm stupid.
No one orders me around.
Not me. I am your dancing monkey. Hey, Uther.
Your father ruled this land for 70 years, and you've ground it to dust in a matter of days.
Very dramatic, Uther. Give me the urn, and I'll make sure you die quickly.
The urn holds your father's ashes, Arthas.
What? Were you hoping to piss on them one last time before you left his kingdom to rot?
I didn't know what it held. Nor does it matter. I'll take what I came for one way or another.
Interesting point here. Each of the paladins has been higher level as we go through this. Uther is his level 10 self. He is the exact same stats he was when he was helping us out.
No one orders me around. Finally.
But that's the point.
Frostmourne hungers.
Level 10 Uther. Brought down by swarms of ghouls.
I dearly hope that there's a special place in hell waiting for you, Arthas.
We may never know, Uther. I intend to live forever.
Irony. Don't worry, Uther. We'll see you later. Not in this game, but we will see you later.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Kill those horses! And then eat them.
Excellent work. Now your journey to Quell Thalas can begin.
Tell him nothing. Only you can hear me. The Dreadlords cannot be trusted. They are the Lich King's jailers. I will tell you all when I walk this world again.
Yeah, Uther made mistakes, but he certainly didn't deserve what he got. My goodness. Poor Uther. Who was the first Lich King? Ner'zhul. Now, I hate to cut this off, but I only got about 20 minutes till the end of the night, and I'm not going to beat into the first High Elf mission before then. So, I'm going to go ahead and chop it off here. So, I guess I will go ahead and see you guys, hopefully, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more Warcraft 3, which is what we'll be playing tomorrow. So, see you around, guys.